päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Welcome to our coverage of the ECL 1v1 Grand Finals, quarterfinals. My name is Brandon B. Major Bigsby, and with me today, he's back. We love him. He is in the booth with us yet again, none other than Sopali. Sopali, first of all, how are you doing? How excited are you? The Grand Finals, we've been waiting for weeks and months for this, finally here today.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm very excited, actually. This is where it all ends up. Like, we've waited for this moment since the winter season, really, when the first players got their tickets to play at this point. And today we'll be figuring out who's going to make the top 4, which we'll be covering tomorrow. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be on their game today and gonna be able to punch their ticket to that top 4 spot in this tournament.
Absolutely. We will have our quarterfinals here today, our semifinals and finals coverage tomorrow right here at twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG. For those that aren't familiar with the format, didn't get to keep up with our winter and spring seasons, we had 2 seasons. The semifinals from both the winter and spring campaigns meet here in these grand finals to face off against each other. Each series will be a best of 3, and we can take a quick look at the prize pool as well to show you what these players are fighting for. The winner of this tournament going to take home €700. Second place, your runner-up, taking home €400, 250 for third place, 150 for fourth place, and each of our finalists here have secured an extra €75 on top of their earnings from the winter and or spring season. So we're going to know who will at least be taking home up into that 4 or 3 category, and then we will have our finals as well tomorrow. So semifinals and finals right here tomorrow. Today we have our quarterfinals. We will be jumping around from a couple of different series, as we'll have 2 of our first series starting off here in just a few minutes, and then we'll have our other 2 series separated a little bit after that. But our first series that we are going to be looking at today, one that I think has a lot of intrigue, Sopali, as ECL Sniper, the youngest player in this tournament at just 16 years old, going against arguably the most seasoned player in this tournament, a multi-time world champion in Eki.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting matchup. You do have to remember, ECL Sniper played, what was it, just a few weeks ago when the spring finals were played, and Eki, when he got his ticket to play in this at this point in the tournament, that was in the winter season, so that was a while ago. So he hasn't been playing any ECL 1v1 games for a while, so it's going to be interesting to see if ECL Sniper does have some sort of an advantage when it comes to that.
Absolutely, and I actually got to talk to both Eki and ECL Sniper, kind of talking about that difference between how long it's been since both played, as well as the experience level difference between these two. So let's head to those interviews to hear what both Eki and ECL Sniper had to say. I am now joined by ECL Sniper. Sniper, thank you so much for taking a few moments to join me here today.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Excited to talk to you here for the first time. You know, we covered you during the spring season, an amazing run that you had going all the way to the semifinals, pushing that series all the way to 3 games. And now you get to play here in the grand finals and probably one of the biggest tournaments that you've seen in your 1v1 career. How does it feel to be playing on this big of a stage against some of the best players throughout the world?
It feels really good. It feels amazing. So it's a great to see that I am like growing up and being better in this game and stuff like that.
Being one of the newer players in this tournament, despite having less experience than maybe some of your competitors, do you feel like that there is anything that you learned during the spring tournament that can help you here in the grand finals?
Yeah, I haven't played in 3 weeks now, so need to be ready. But I think that my confidence is good and I'm still good at attacking. So yeah.
Yeah, and it really feels like you've made a name for yourself this year in the community. For those that maybe aren't as familiar with you, tell us a little bit about how you got into NHL and more specifically competitive 1v1 play.
Oh yeah, I have played NHL like I started playing in NHL 14. I would say, and in competitive I was my friend group with that ECL 6v6 season, and here I saw that it's like 1v1 side also, so I want to try, and yeah, there starts my 1v1 career.
Yeah, and you've been making quite the splash here so far early on. Now you go up against a multi-time European champion, a multi-time world champion in Eki. Being familiar with him, obviously, what is it that you're going to be looking out against him in your matchup?
Obviously, Eki is really good player. Everyone knows him. Everyone knows what he can do, and I need to be ready for defending really good and use my counter attack so I can play my best and try to defeat him.
Sniper, one more question for you. Don't want to take up too much of your time. You kind of mentioned the counterattacks, making sure that you play your best and that you have that confidence. What do you personally feel like you will need to do if you want to pull off a series victory?
Need to be ready everything what we can do and be ready to defend a lot and use that my attacking skill what I have, and don't just defense all game, so I can need to take some time on attack and stuff like that.
Well, it should be a fun series. Again, you have proven yourself to really be one of the emerging players in the scene. You're going up against one of the most experienced guys we have. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see it all unfold. Sniper, thank you once again for taking a few moments, and best of luck to you in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Thanks.
I am now joined by Eki. Eki, thank you so much for taking a few moments to join me here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure. And, obviously the big grand final here coming up in less than 24 hours. I know things have been super busy for you with everything going on, but, what has the preparation looked like for you going into these grand finals?
In all transparency, I haven't played a single game in 3 weeks. So, yeah, honestly, we have like our baby's 6 weeks old, and I just moved apartments. My setup isn't even ready yet, so I'm trying to get it done today, and then the games start tomorrow, so I have the whole day to practice. So that's my goal. That's my goal.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, very busy schedule right now off the ice. I know as you look around the bracket, a lot of familiar names for you that you've competed against in the past. The newest face of them of all, Easy Child Sniper, your opponent in the quarterfinals. Yeah. What do you know about him heading into this thing, if you kind of have had the chance to see him play?
I noticed he had a really tight series against Pikkarii in the ECL spring semifinals. So, yeah, I haven't played him a lot. Don't really know what to expect at all, but for sure will be an entertaining series. And I just need to go in prepared.
Yeah, you mentioned in going in prepared and facing off against someone you're not as familiar with. Do you feel like, at least at the beginning of this series, there'll be sort of that adjustment period, kind of trying to feel out what his game is and adjusting from there?
Yeah, for sure. It will be. It will be an adjustment for me to get used to how to play the game in general, because I haven't been playing a lot. So will be really interesting to see how it goes. I'm not even sure which team I'll play with yet. I need to test tomorrow, see kind of what feels good, what doesn't. But yeah, kind of going in dark, sort of. But yeah, luckily NHL is a game which you just don't really forget how to play in 3 weeks, right? So yeah.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned going in dark a little bit too, not really being able to do too much preparation or practice. But, again, your experience being at that top level for so long, what kind of helps you be able to get that form back so easily to be at that high level against such high-end competition?
Honestly, I feel like my gameplay has never been revolved around playing too much. Like I feel like I'm really IQ heavy player. Like I like to pass the puck a lot, see what's open, see what's not, and that's not something that just you forget, right? Obviously, when you've played less, the things you notice it is in scoring chances. What's your touch on glitch goals or timings to beat the goalie? That's where you really notice it. And
One final question for you, Eki. Mentioning again, Easy Shot Sniper, someone that is a little bit newer to the scene. Obviously, you have won championships upon championships. You've played on those big stages, whether it be LAN, GWC, here in the ECL. You've pretty much done it all. Do you feel like that experience for you, being familiar with this big stage moment, could be helpful to you going against a new player that maybe hasn't been in this situation before?
yeah, of course. I remember playing in my first tournaments. Of course, it's more nerve-wracking, and this has to be the biggest tournament he's played in this far, and made it this far. So yeah, for sure will be a big moment, and experience, like I say, always helps, especially mentally. It's I always say, competitive NHL, it's 50% skill and 50% mental, because a lot of stuff happens which you can't control, and it's all about um, how you adjust to that mentally and move forward.
Absolutely. Eki, always great to chat with you, man. Thank you again for taking a few moments here to talk with us, and best of luck to you in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Thank you to both Easy Shot Sniper and Eki for taking the time to chat with me. The game has been started underway, and Eki, wasting no time, puts one on the board, starts off the scoring here in the grand finals.
Yeah, well, that was quick. We barely were able to get those interviews out of the way, and Eki's out there scoring already. That 3-week break from the game doesn't seem to show up for him at the early stage, at least, or maybe it is showing for ECL Sniper. They both said that they haven't played in a while, so maybe Eki with that routine is able to get that advantage to start this game there.
Well, you heard him say during that interview, he doesn't feel like his game really is centered around how much or how little he plays the game. He feels like he's more of an IQ player. He says that's not something you can really lose. So he shows it there. He has a breakaway now with Thomas Arnold, and he scores! Eki with 2 quick goals just over 4 minutes into the game, up 2-0 here in game 1 of this series already.
Big 2-0 lead, and yeah, as you said, Eki was saying that his gameplay does not revolve around the mechanical things as much as the game IQ and stuff, and that is sometimes for that type of playstyle, it's actually even beneficial to take a little bit of a break from the game sometimes, just to be able to reset a little bit mentally. And well, Eki looks like that has been a good way to prepare for this tournament.
And you'll hear that theme from a lot of the players as we hear from everyone here that's participating today. He's not the only one that hasn't been able to really play too much over the last few weeks. So we'll see how much of a disadvantage or advantage that could be for some that did and some that didn't. In case you have not figured it out already based on the 2 goals from Eki, Eki controlling the Vegas Golden Knights. We were watching from his perspective. Easy Shot Sniper controlling Colorado. He is wearing the throwback Quebec Nordiques jerseys. Eki in the gold and gray. Here comes Easy Shot Sniper on the other end, controls it, tried to look for the pass across, but nothing was there.
An interesting choice for the team. I don't believe Eki was using Vegas in the winter season, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he wasn't, and he scores again. Thomas Hurdle, second goal of the game, and Eki is already up by 3 in the first half of the first period.
And interesting that you just said that, Soaply, because you mentioned that Eki maybe not using Vegas. I think he was using Toronto. I'd have to go back and check back in that winter season. But using Vegas, and remember, the trade deadline has happened since then. Tomas Hertl wasn't on this team, so a few differences now in the rosters between now and then. So you may see some players that had some success in the winter season with some teams alternate their strategy a little bit and switch to a team that fits the current meta a little bit better. There's been updates since then. Rosters have changed since then. So the spring guys going to be able to kind of continue what they did and have a good grip on some of these teams. The winter guys maybe going to have to change things up a little bit compared to what they did that got them here.
Right, that's actually a good point. I didn't even consider that at all, as ECL Sniper gets his first good-looking look of the game, but right after it takes a penalty. But yeah, that's definitely going to be an interesting situation to see how the players that made it to this point from the winter season, if they're going to be changing the teams that they're playing with compared to what they were using back then.
Power play now for Eki after the tripping call against the ECL Sniper. ECL Sniper trying to move this up the ice. A little bit of a play there. Forehand backhand almost found its way past Eki. ECL Sniper doing a good job right now, just killing off that power play time for Eki. Circles it around, shot on, easy save made for Eki. Eki now finally gets control of it.
2 quick chances on the penalty kill there, and ECL Sniper, the penalty kills in this game, honestly, sometimes you can even get like better offensive opportunities on the penalty kill, because, for example, the strategies on the power play might be a little bit different. That's going to open up the defense a little bit, and ECL Sniper has killed this one off, and that plays a delayed offside, and ECL Sniper is going to pick that up in his own zone.
Yeah, a picture-perfect penalty kill from ECL Sniper. Really felt like more of a power kill. You never see Eki not get a shot on them on the power play, but that's exactly what happened. There's a chance for ECL Sniper, having McKinnon trying to find Rantanen, but couldn't get it on net cleanly. Puck battled for behind the net. ECL Sniper finds it, moves it around, holds it over the left side, goes behind the net. Looking for a pass. Eki just locking down, collapsing over at those two posts. Knowing what ECL Sniper is looking for, trying to find that cross-crease play. Pass across, nice pick-off there from Jack Eichel for Eki. And one thing about Eki, as much as the offensive game gets talked about, he's one of the smarter defensive players that you'll find in the 1v1 scene as well.
That is absolutely the case, and he's able to read what his opponent is doing most of the time. And so far, ECL Sniper has been struggling to get that many great opportunities, but maybe he's able to start his engines here soon.
And you feel like for Eki, that quick start was very important for him. You know, we talked with Eki about it in ECL Sniper a little bit too. Remember, ECL Sniper, he's just 16 years old. This is his first major tournament that he's really been a part of and has had to face off against someone like Eki in the grand finals of. So this is a player that is new. He's never been here before. You maybe wonder that quick start from Eki kind of maybe the nerves a little bit for ECL Sniper coming into play. It feels like he's settled in a good bit. And if you look at the stats, Soaply, you know, ECL Sniper playing right there with Eki outside of those first 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was just a cold shower to start the game for him. After that point, it's been pretty even, I would say, even slightly favorable towards ECL Sniper, actually. And yeah, I feel like what you said, and the fact that neither of these guys have played the game all that much in the past few weeks, that's probably going to play into the hands of Eki, just because of the experience he has playing in these stages.
Eki almost had a chance right there as we're underway for period number 2, but a nice disruption made by ECL Sniper. Eki controls it right now over at the corner, looking for a pass. Holds it behind the net with Jack Eichel. Turned over, but got it back, but lost it again. Nice defense there from ECL Sniper. It feels like he's really settled in here to this game, but you just wonder if allowing those 3 goals in the first 4 or 5 minutes are going to cost him a chance at a comeback. It's a steep hill to climb against someone like Eki that typically does not throw leads away like this. Eki holds it right now off his backhand. Shot on, goes wide. Good chance. Gets it back, however. Mark Stone with it. Tried to skate to the middle, but couldn't get a shot off. Nice defensive play from ECL Sniper. And now here he comes countering on the other end. Passes it over with Cale Makar. Makar, looks like he has Makar lined up at the wing rather than back playing defense. And yes, he does indeed. Interesting strategy there. Trying to use his offensive abilities. It's a shot on. Save made, but he has another chance. Easy shot sniper controlling it at the point. Eki defending. Circles it down low. Shot and he scores! Easy shot sniper puts it in. Kale Makar gets it in the back of the net for him, and now he's on the board and cuts into that lead.
Yeah, a very important goal here. And as you said, Makar, using him as a winger, that seems to be the way most of these people are playing him if they're using the Colorado Avalanche, just because of the speed down the wing. You compare that speed of Makar on the second line with having your first line left winger as McKinnon. And I mean, this just... anytime you have your top 6 players on the ice, you're gonna just have that one guy with 96 plus speed on the wing, and that is just a huge advantage comparing that to the defense of, for example, Vegas, where most of the guys are below 90 speed.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. I know for some people that maybe don't keep up as much with the versus side of things, kind of like, Kale Makar at winger, what? And that is a very good point. All of it is just derived around the way that the game plays. That speed is just so valuable to have on the wing. Kale Makar is more valuable to you by being at that position rather than being stuck back on defense where you can't really utilize everything that he's capable of doing back there.
Yeah, 100%. And then add to the fact that he has unbelievable hand stats, and shooting stats are really high. So he's basically a forward build just as a defenseman. So a lot of people just end up using him as a forward instead.
Hey, he's the cover boy for a reason, and he helped out Easy Shot Sniper there, cut into this lead, but Eki right now with the puck, trying to work his way around to that goal back. He was up by 3 just a few minutes ago, and if Easy Shot Sniper can find another one here before the end of the period, he is right back into this one. So a critical 7 minutes upcoming here in the second period. As Easy Shot Sniper has it in the offensive end. We want to thank Esdor for the raid of 32. Appreciate you, my friend. For everyone coming in, we just started our first game of the quarterfinals for our ECL 1v1 Grand Finals. This is game 1 between the 8 seed Easy Shot Sniper and the number 1 seed. And Eki is a shot on, saved by Robin Leonard. He'll hold on for the stop, and the 16-year-old Easy Shot Sniper starting to find his rhythm a little bit in this game.
Easy Shot Sniper right there. He was looking for that little forehand shot. Coming from an angle like that, you're able to shoot a forehand even though your player is technically on the backhand side in this game, but he wasn't able to pull it off right there. He's been going for it a couple of times actually, but maybe you see the routine of him not having that many hours in the game in the past few weeks kicking in right there, because that play right there, when you try to shoot a little bit of it is a little bit of a broken animation in this game where your player just basically shoots a forehand shot from that position, and he just hasn't been able to hit it just yet, but he's looking for it.
Easy Shot Sniper had it behind the net, but it was turned over. Puck still loose and battled for, and Eki ends up finding it for just a moment before his pass goes awry, and now lead to a line change. Easy Shot Sniper now with it. Shonomi scores! A 2-3 game, back-to-back goals for Easy Shot Sniper, and just like that, he has crawled his way back into this one.
Yeah, Easy Shot Sniper's been on top of this game since the start, where Eki had the 3-0 lead in this game, and after that it's honestly almost been entirely Easy Shot Sniper's game, but he's cut the lead back to only 1, and possibly taking this score into the third period. And I mean, if you're Eki in this position, you gotta start thinking that maybe you have to start attacking as well, because the lead is only a 1-goal lead. As he tries to get that pass across, that doesn't work, and indeed it's gonna be a 3-2 game going into the third.
Yeah, he almost got that second goal back there late, but a 2-3 game. Eki now in maybe a little bit of adversity here, and you know, we talked about it earlier, so Easy Shot Sniper allowing 3 goals in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game, but ever since then it feels like he's kind of gotten a grip on this game, and Eki hasn't had a whole lot of response for it. Easy Shot Sniper kind of shaking out the butterflies early on, his first big tournament first game in a few weeks, but didn't take him long to find that form back. All of a sudden, he's only down 1 and a lot of time left to get another goal here or two.
Yeah, and from Eki's perspective, he got a really quick 3-0 lead, and I know that he's a person that tries to adjust his game style according to what the situation is, and when he's up by 3, he's gonna play a little bit more passive, and maybe that's gonna actually not be a good thing for him here, as he's been a little bit passive for sure after getting that early lead.
And remember, for those that weren't with us earlier during the pregame, these series are best of 3. So this game number 1, absolutely massive in each series. It gives you that control. It gives you 2 opportunities to clinch the series with a win. So whoever gets this victory has a very, very good chance here. This kind of being the separating game is almost a shot on a huge save made there for Easy Shot Sniper. That would have been disastrous for him. And now he has a counterattack on the other end. Manson controls it. Goes down low. Easy Shot Sniper looking around for something. Tried to pass it across, but it was blocked in front. Eki now in control of it. With Eichel. Turned over. Another great defensive play from Easy Shot Sniper. He's been stellar so far. He has the puck now and goes behind the net with it. Holding it at the face-off dot. Looking to get it into the middle. Goes back to the point to Walker. Now to Gerard. To Nichushkin. Holding it at the face-off circle, goes down low into the corner boards. Easy Shot Sniper just circling this around right now, trying to find that one grand opportunity, but Eki denying him so far as he goes across, almost had a goal. If he gets the shot off, it goes in, but he just couldn't. A great bump from behind by Eki defensively. Eki now countering on the other end. He's in the offensive zone, shot on, save made, and Easy Shot Sniper going to play this out. He wants to keep the momentum going. Saucer pass up, disrupted, and Eki forces the turnover. Eki controlling it now, he's just taking his time. The momentum in the favor of his opposition. The next goal could very well help decide the trajectory of this game. Easy Shot Sniper looking for the tying goal. Eki looking to double his lead with just 9 minutes left here in this game. Turned over, but got it back. Eki controlling it with Anthony Mantha. Goes across, holding it still. Could have maybe shot it, but opted not to, and it ends up being into a turnover. And that was some of that passiveness, Sopley, that you were mentioning right there.
Yeah, exactly. Eki was maybe getting a little bit nervous with the way the game was getting a little bit out of control, with both guys going coast to coast just over and over, and he just wanted to take it easy for a little bit, and that time may have been the right decision, and I'm assuming we're gonna see that more here. No, it's gonna be Hurdle scoring the 3rd goal of the game, and Hurdle with the hat trick puts Eki up by 2 yet again.
Something about Tomas Hurdle on this game for these players has been absolutely unreal. We saw him during the spring season be absolutely massive for those that used Vegas. Pikkarii especially had a good time with Tomas Hurdle. Eki now using him for 3 of his 4 goals, doubles his lead to a 4-2 lead with just over 6 minutes left. A massive goal. By the way, we have an update on our other game. Currently, Eken and Pikkarii playing right now. The score, 2-1 Eken late in the first period. They just got started a few moments ago. Eken up 2-1 right now in the early going. We will get to that game as soon as we wrap this one up here. As Easy Shot Sniper, a little bit of work to do if he wants to try to get that comeback. 4 minutes left, down by 2. He controls the puck right now. Oh, he tried to do a one-hand deke there off of the side of the post, but could not find the space for it. And now Eki comes in on the other end. Moves it across to the left boards. White Cloud controls it as it's moved up to Easy Shot Sniper after the turnover. Holds it, forehand shot on, goes wide. Another chance, bumped in front. Less than 2 minutes to go, Eki in full control, just trying to ride this thing to the finish. You've seen Easy Shot Sniper come back before. He was down by 3 against Pikkarii in Game 3 in the semifinals of the spring season. Came back to tie that game. Didn't win, lost by 1, but it goes to show you, we've seen Easy Shot Sniper get on a late run before. He can do it again. He has an offensive zone face-off now to the left side of Robin Leonard. Face-off won by Eki in the defensive zone, but turned over. Pass to Rashad, he scores! Gabriel Landeskog puts it in for Easy Chaw Sniper, and all of a sudden, he's back in this one. 50 seconds left, down by just one. Sopoli, don't go away yet.
Yeah, don't switch to Eken's and Pikkarii's game just yet, guys. We still have almost a full minute left for ECL Sniper to tie this game up, and there's the timeout taken, 51 seconds on the clock. Let's see if he's able to do it.
You mentioned Eken and Pikkarii. Eken just got another goal in that game. 3-1 your score, 8 seconds left in the first. But more pressing matters in front of us here. Easy Chaw Sniper with possession, down by one, skates down the other end. Oh, he tried to pass it across, but Eki poked it away. Easy Chaw Sniper still in control. 33 seconds left here in this one. Down low. Easy Chaw Sniper looking for an opportunity. Can he get that one last chance to push his toes? He shot on, saved by Robin Leonard. Eki in control, 20 seconds now. Moves it up the ice, gives it to Shea Theodore. Eki bumps from behind nearly, but he got out of close and he scores! Jack Eichel puts it in! And Eki back up by 2. It's like nothing ever even happened.
A clutch goal there. Guess who assisted that goal, by the way? Tomas Hurdle. Seems like he's scoring about 4 goals or 4 points per game for anyone using Vegas in this tournament. And, well, that play started from a huge save the other way. ECL Sniper was able to create that one last chance for him to tie this game up, but I believe Leonard is the goalie for Vegas. He was able to stop that one, and on the counter-attack, Eki scores and puts this one away.
Well, led by Tomas Hurdle's 4 points, Eki gets the victory over Easy Chaw Sniper. A very exciting game number 1 as Easy Chaw Sniper, he was down 3-0 early in this one, cut it back to 1 on 2 different occasions. He just was never able to get that game-tying goal. However, Eki, every time he needed that goal, he was able to get it, and really Sopoli, and recapping this game 1, it was that quick start for Eki that gave him that extra advantage. 3 goals in the first 5 minutes, and that's just so difficult to come back from. A valiant effort from Easy Chaw Sniper, but when you start the game out in such a big hole, it's such a tall task to try to climb yourself out of that. Unfortunately for Easy Chaw Sniper, just not able to do so.
Yeah, it's a very tough situation to climb back from being down 3-0 against Eki, and he did his best. ECL Sniper was able to make it really close, and honestly, the last 50 minutes of the game, ECL Sniper was a little bit on top of the game, in my opinion, but the 3-0 lead at the start was just a little bit too much as we move to the other series going on right now, and this is game 1 as well between Eken and Pikkarii.
Absolutely. As a pass across, nearly a chance there. We are looking at the perspective of Pikkarii. He is using Vegas in those great alternate jerseys. Eken controlling the Colorado Avalanche using those old school Reebok jerseys. Eken currently up 3-1 in this one, and he has possession right now, skating across with speed, trying to move his way to the middle. As you saw the reaction there from Pikkarii, as he just got called for a trip. So a power play upcoming right now here for Eken.
Interesting, we have the exact same team combination as in the other series. Colorado and Vegas seem to be the 2 go-to teams at the moment in online versus, and possibly Colorado for those who like to play a little bit more straightforward hockey, and Vegas just an all-around really solid team. They have pretty much 3 lines of really solid players, and you just really can't go wrong with that roster. But here actually Pikkarii is going to be called for another penalty, and Eken's going to have a chance on the 5-on-3 now.
That's huge, already being up by 2 to have that 5-on-3 opportunity. We'll see if he can take advantage of it. And, Sopoli, a good point there. You mentioned that about the teams, just kind of considering that who we have in the bracket, you just feel like more than likely this is a matchup that our viewers will want to get pretty familiar with. A lot of these players choosing Vegas and Colorado. You may see a team like Toronto thrown in here or there, but for the most part, I think that these are probably the 2 squads that you can expect to see throughout most of this contest.
Yeah, these 2, and possibly, as you said, Toronto. Maybe you'll see a little bit of Carolina in the mix as well, but these two so far seem to be the go-to teams, and
Oh,
that shot
a
is
near
not
chance.
gonna go in.
A wide open net for Eken. Pikkarii manually controlled the goalie, was sliding around. Eken not able to take advantage. Could that be an opportunity that he comes back to rue later on if Pikkarii comes back in this game?
Yeah, remember that moment if this turns around.
As Pikkarii now in control. Down a man, but up in the possession here. He has it behind the net. Moves it up the ice. There's now Eken in control of it with Nathan McKinnon. Skates down the middle, holding it, looking for an option to pass or shoot. Doesn't have it so far and goes up to the point. As now it will be Pikkarii controlling it. A little bit under 90 seconds to play. Has it with Feichel. Spins, tried to pass it across, but in front of the goalie. Pikkarii still in a shot on, he scores! Works his way in front with Jack Eichel, and a massive goal in the late stages of the second period cuts the lead down to 1.
Massive goal indeed. It's kind of a similar situation as we saw on the other matchup where someone was up by 2 goals, but late in the second, ECL was able to do it, and now Pikkarii is able to do the same exact thing, bring the game back within 1, and if this goes 3-2 into the third, just like the other game, we might have a pretty solid third period coming up ahead of us.
And, you know, it's interesting. We always see how those late goals can really change just the complexion of a game. All of a sudden, for Eken, you go from being up 3-1 with a 5-on-3 power play. He's not able to score on it. He missed that open net opportunity, and all of a sudden, a few minutes later, Pikkarii comes in on the other end, scores, and he goes into the third period only being down by 1. I feel like mentally that just changes the challenge level that you see in front of you. Being down by 2 goals is easy to kind of get into a little bit more of a panic. Being down by 1, you're like, hey, okay, we got a lot of time to get 1 goal. We can push this thing into at least overtime. I don't need to score multiple goals to at least get this game a little bit further, and then I can find that second goal once I get that first.
Yeah, it's actually a massive thing, like psychologically. When you're down by 2, you feel like you're in a hurry, but when you're down by 1, it's almost even, right? So you don't feel that sort of pressure on you to score quickly, so that helps you just make better decisions overall when you're not stressed about needing to score 1 quickly anymore. And maybe Pikkarii is able to use that to be patient and make the right plays to tie this up soon.
Pikkarii has it right now. He's stride deep down the middle, tries to get it over to who else but Tomas Hertl, but he wasn't able to get that shot off cleanly. Eken now in control of it. Breaks it into Rantanen. Now the middle stab, back to Rantanen. Eken just trying to cycle this thing around, but he's bumped off from behind. Gets it back, however, with Manson at the point. Eken looking for options. Just working it over at that right side. Finds it with Middlestat. Skates in the middle, back up to the high slot. Now over to Makar. Using Makar at that wing spot as we saw as we saw Easy Shot Sniper do in the other matchup. Turned over, however, is now it'll be Pikkarii in control. 12.5 to play here in period number 3. Eken currently up 3-2 in game number 1 between these two. A best-of-3 series in the quarterfinals. Eken in control, trying to break things in. Moves it in, trying to find something here, but it's turned over. As here comes Pikkarii on the other end, shot on, save made. Pikkarii is still in control of possession, however. From behind, puck loose, battle for and won by Eken. Pikkarii almost had that tying goal there, but was not able to find it. Now Eken controls in the neutral zone with Valeri Nichushkin. The Druin shot on was tipped in front by a stick. As Eken gets it now over on the corner. Skates into the high slot, now to the point. With Walker. Now to Colton, now to Lehkonen. Eken looking for an opportunity. He has not had many shots on net so far in this period. He gets one there! Off the post and in the net! Eken extends his lead back to 2.
Yeah, just as you were saying, he doesn't have many shots. He takes one from a sharp angle. This little snipe from that corner. He's just able to make the goalie bite a little bit off that post, shoots it short side, and that shot right there is always a dangerous one. It doesn't go in all the time nearly, but when you're able to get that shot off properly, it is a very, very good scoring chance, and Pikkarii is definitely not going to be happy to let Eken shoot from there.
We talked about the psychological difference between being down 1 and being down 2. Well, now not only is Pikkarii down by 2 again, but he's down 2 with just 6 minutes left, so he's going to have to act quickly if he wants to make a comeback. And here comes Eken on the other end. Skates towards the middle. Couldn't get the shot off clean, but a nice move there. It's kind of L2ing his way into the middle of the ice. Pikkarii tried to pass it across with Hurdle, but couldn't find anything cleanly as the puck goes into the neutral zone. Just over 4 minutes to play, and now this is where Pikkarii does kind of have to ramp up the aggression here and throw everything but the kitchen sink at Eken. Tried to get across crease there, but nothing home, and here comes Eken now trying to counterattack. Turned over, however. Nice defense by Pikkarii. Controls Jonathan Marchessault here. Gives it over to Roy. Now to Barbashev. Shot on, saved by Onninen, and he'll stop play with 2:47 left. Eken has to feel good about where he is, but Pikkarii pushing the issue here.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time, and Pikkarii is in a hurry to get those 2 goals to tie this game up, as I'm pretty sure that's Eken taking the time out here just to refresh the lines. And we see the stats. Eken is clearly dominating in terms of those stats, as we see, and he's gonna try to kill this game and the last few minutes.
And if Eken is to finish this off, an impressive Game 1 victory. Pikkarii, your spring champion, he won the season during the spring season, was able to knock off both Easy Chaw Sniper and Nicky Dangles in 3 games to hold that title. Eken played in the winter season and was bumped out in the semifinals of the winter season. So for Eken, someone that hasn't really been in this high-level competition in a few months, coming in, showing his stuff right now early on. 52 seconds left in the third period of this one, trying to close this Game 1 out. Controls in the offensive zone right now. Pikkarii just not able to get him off of this puck. This is mass for Eken, just killing off that time. Finally does, and here comes Pikkarii now trying to counterattack. Spin move, disrupted, however, leads to a turnover. Last thing you needed there if you're Pikkarii. Pikkarii gets it back in the neutral zone. Hurdle controlling it. Goes behind the net. One touch there. A beautiful little windmill move. Gotta love when the players bring out the flare, but it didn't go in.
Yeah, we see that little one-hander. We see the little side of the net one-hander. Exactly the same move that Easy Sniper was trying against Eki late into their game, but neither of them have been able to hit that so far. And Eken is gonna be walking away with the victory of this Game 1 matchup.
And as you said there, Sopley, a victory for Eken in Game 1, 4-2 your final. You saw the reaction from Pikkarii, visibly frustrated with himself with how that Game 1 went. Bring you back into the studio. Brandon B. Major Bigsby alongside my partner in Sopley. And Sopley, we saw those two match up. We talked a little bit about the Eki and Easy Chaw Sniper matchup. So let's dive in to this matchup here a little bit further between Eken and Pikkarii. As we mentioned, Eken qualifying as a semifinalist in the winter season. Pikkarii, your spring 1v1 champion. And, you know, from what we saw between those two, Eken really controlling the play. Pikkarii that just never really seemed to find that comfort level. He loves to control that possession. He loves to lock things down defensively and really get his work on counterattacks. Eken never really gave him a lot of opportunities on either of those, it felt like.
Yeah, it looks like Eken pretty much had control of the games pretty much the whole way through. As well, we didn't see the very start of the game, but throughout the second and third periods, it looked like Eken had everything under control pretty well, and he was just able to kill the clock at the end and come out with that 2-goal win. And from my eyes, it seemed like a pretty deserved win as well.
Absolutely. Pikkarii never led in that game, so it was all Eken throughout that 60 minutes. We actually got to talk with both Pikkarii and Eken before these games, both of them talking about what they're expecting to see in this series. Two guys that are champions, two guys that are very well seasoned here in the 1v1 scene. Let's hear what they have to say coming into this quarterfinal series. been a few weeks since you've played competitively in one of these high-end tournaments. I gotta ask, how have you been able to stay in good form, and what does preparation look like for you heading into these grand finals?
The preparation literally has been no preparation. I haven't touched the game a lot since the EU finals in Copenhagen. I played a couple games this week, but not much else. I'm gonna have to rely a bit on the experience and knowing what to do in these kind of games.
Okay.
And usually a break
you're
like this can do good for a
Okay,
game as
yeah,
well.
that's fine.
You can see new things and stuff like that. So I hope that's how it's gonna turn out for me.
Been too long of a stretch since you last won that Spring 1v1 championship. What do you feel like has contributed to your good play so far? Because it feels like you've really hit that next level over the last few weeks.
Or again, is he already playing?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the next level, but I think I've been really good. I have had really good routine with this game lately. I played really similar.
Okay.
Every time I play
Maybe
the
they
game,
can-
my level doesn't bounce that much. I don't have too many off games. I think it's just from hours I put in this game, and the current meta of the game hasn't changed in months. Like have been no patches or anything. So many hours with the game and good routine, and I think that's why I'm in a good form at the moment and have been in lately.
Thank you both Eken and Pikkarii for taking a few moments here to chat with me yesterday. And, you heard it there, Sopoli. Eken kind of talked about a little bit of what he expects. Didn't really get too much practice coming into this one. Pikkarii, just the form that he's been in, saying he doesn't even feel like this is his top level yet, but just the hours that he's put into this game has led him here. He's going to hope that it leads to a little bit of improvement here after that tough game one.
Yeah. You definitely want to bounce back in this matchup. As I mean, if you're Pikkarii and if you just lose the next game, you're totally out of the tournament. So definitely don't want to do that. And Eken is definitely gonna try to win this next one. As I mean, going to a game 3 against Pikkarii, it's probably not something you want to do.
Yeah, and I think you could say the same thing on the other end with Eki and ECL Sniper as Eki up 1-0, Eken up 1-0. And speaking of Eki, he just got on the board. A 1-0 series lead, a 1-0 game 2 lead. It has taken Eki little to no time to get on the score sheet. He does it this time 28 seconds into the first period.
The exact same story as in the game 1 of this series, and guess who scored, by the way? It's Thomas Hurdle for Eki, and yeah, I mean, we almost missed the first game of that game 1, and this time we actually missed the first game, but we won't be missing that second goal, as Eichel tips that in, and both games in this series, Eki has scored 2 insanely quick goals.
Yeah, you can convince me that this is a replay of game number 1. 2 goals in the first minute for Eki. This is the same thing that haunted ECL Sniper in game 1. He only lost 5-3, but remember, 3 of the 5 goals were in the first 5 minutes of the first period. So for ECL Sniper, the quick starts for Eki are costing him here dearly. He's going to need to try to put a halt to it, as he does have it in the offensive zone right now with Rantanen. Goes down low now behind the net. ECL Sniper controlling it, but is turned over. Here comes Eki now on the other end. Turned over in the neutral zone. Nice defense there from ECL Sniper. Holding it at the point with Manson. Skates in, stops, turns around, and gives it up to the point. Now reverses it over to Rantanen. ECL Sniper looking for his first shot of the game. Holds at the corner, shot on, tipped in front, or poked rather in front, excuse me. But ECL Sniper gets it right back. Turned over, however, as it's picked off on the pass attempt from Rantanen. Eki moving his way up the ice. A 2-0 lead early for Eki. 2 goals in the first minute of this game. Looking for a third here. Waits patiently, looking for a passing option. Gives it to Martinez. Now back to Whitecloud at the point. Tried to hit Eichel back at that left side, but the pass goes behind him. It will force Eki to reset. Sopli, I'm curious, if you're ECL Sniper here, what do you feel like you need to do to turn this momentum back in your favor after just a quick start of goals that you really seemed like you just couldn't expect. To start the game, all of a sudden you're down 2-0. Now you have to find your way back into this game because if you lose, your tournament's over.
Yeah, it is a very tough situation for him, but I mean, he kind of did bounce back in that game 1 when he was down by 3 goals early, and if he's able to keep this only a 2-goal lead for Eki to start the game, then I feel like he does have everything that he needs to bounce back in this game. We saw him do it in game 1, so why wouldn't he be able to bounce back? But I mean, it is very tough to play down by 2 against Eki.
Yeah, and you mentioned he came back from 2 goals in that game 1. It's just that it was a 3-0 advantage for Eki to start it rather than 2-0. So give Easy Shot Sniper some credit. Obviously a less than ideal start, but not allowing that 3rd goal this time maybe could help change his fortunes a little bit. As Easy Shot Sniper has it now after forcing the turnover. He's in the offensive end. Controls it with Walker. Skates with it, plays with it, goes to the middle, shot, and he scores! A beautiful move from Easy Cha Sniper, cuts that Eki lead right in half.
Massive goal to give himself that situation where he doesn't go down by 3. Instead, he's back within 1. And if he's able to keep this one close towards the end, I think that's going to be huge for him, as we've seen him clutch up in big moments. We've seen him with a comeback against Pikkarii in that spring season semifinal, and he's been able to score some pretty huge goals, even in the game 1 against Eki, to climb back in that game, but just wasn't able to complete the comeback in that one. Maybe he will be able to do it here.
As remember, the winner of this series will face off against the winner of the Nikki Dangles and Sisu series. That series will be starting up here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens there, but nevertheless, pressing matters here in front of us as Eki controlling it in the offensive zone. He wants to go ahead and send this series in to the final. Let's just stick it into tomorrow. Remember, our semifinals and finals coverage will be live right here tomorrow. You can find it at twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG, or you can find it on Twitter at SportsGamerGG, or on YouTube. Easy Chop Sniper spin move pass across. It was defended well after a beautiful play was created. That might have been a goal if Eki wasn't there defensively. Easy Chop Sniper still pushing the issue on offense. 5 seconds left. Pass goes awry there from Easy Chop Sniper. And Eki just going to drink his water and let that clock expire. A 2-1 lead after 20 minutes for him. The Easy Chop Sniper pushing the issue. And again, outside of that first 4 or 5 minutes, it feels like he's really been controlling the game, giving Eki everything he can handle so far.
Right. He's once again he's been able to control the game. We see him actually having more time on attacking than Eki, that is not something you see very often. But in this series, ECG Sniper has been able to compete gameplay-wise, other than the fact that he's given his opponent a multi-goal lead to start each game, which is definitely not something you want to do in a ECL 1v1 Grand Finals series.
And again, this is the least experienced player on these big stages compared to the most experienced, so this is Easy Shot Sniper's first time in these scenarios, and here he is playing for 700 euros in the Grand Finals against multiple players that are champions on the Finnish level, on the Swedish level, and on the global scale. Remember, Eki is a 3 or 4 time NHL GWC champion. He has proven to be arguably the best player in the world. Easy Shot Sniper, a 16-year-old that is in his first tournament, and here he is being matched up against someone that is arguably one of the best to ever touch the sticks on NHL, but he's playing right with him, and that says a lot. He has the puck right now, and he's trying to tie this one up. The shot on hits the post wide. Another chance. Puck moves in front, but Eki gets it out. Nearly the tying goal right there for Easy Shot Sniper, as we were just talking about him being on this big stage against such a big name. Man, so close right there. The shot on glove the way there for Robin Leonard. And he'll hold on for the stoppage. By the way, just a quick correction, Eki, he's won GWC 1 time and 5-time EU champion, however, in GWC. So still arguably one of the best in the world, undisputed. And ECL Sniper playing right there with him.
I believe it might actually be 6 times EU champion by now. I could be wrong, maybe 5, but I feel like it might be 6 by now. And
you lose count with Eki, honestly.
yeah, you just lose count of how many times he's won that tournament. But then compare that to ECL Sniper, who he wasn't old enough to compete even in this year's GWC, so he hasn't even had the chance to play a single GWC. Meanwhile, Eki has been dominating in there since GWC was created in 2018, I believe.
Yeah, and if you do the math here real quick, Eki, I believe, was the one that competed on the EU side for GWC in 2018. I think he was the EU champion that year. When the GWC started, ECL Sniper was 10 or 11 years old. Just think about that for a second. 2018, 2014 now, he's 16, so he was around 10 years old when that tournament first started. And now here he is playing against someone that was on that stage when it first started, and he's going toe-to-toe with him once again. We are watching right in front of us one of the fresh young faces that could really become a name that you hear a lot over the next few years, match up against one of the veterans here of the sport.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's up and coming, and well, the GWC has been put on pause for an indefinite amount of time, so he might not have the chance to compete in a GWC next year, but for sure, if they do bring back that tournament, and well, even if they don't, there's still gonna be a lot of NHL tournaments from SportsGamer and possibly other ones as well coming up, so he's a name to look out for in the future.
Yeah, and kind of even adding on as ECL Sniper puts it in with Cale Makar. We are tied at 2 halfway through this game 2.
And here we see the exact goal he was going for multiple times in that game 1. He just wasn't able to activate that exact animation with the player. And Cale Makar, that play, it looks like you're unable to shoot a forehand shot from there, but if you angle yourself just the right way, these players are able to do a little bit of a flick of the right stick to activate a forehand shot from that kind of an angle. And I mean, ECL Sniper as well as a couple other players, we will be looking at their games later on today, are going for that exact play a lot in this game.
And remember, this isn't the first time we have seen a younger, more, newer player to the scene come in and have success against veterans. You go back to last year, Sopely, who was the one that won the ECL 1v1 title? Sisu at the young age of just 18. So this isn't the first time we've seen a young age come in and make a name for themselves on this stage against some of the veteran players. ECL Sniper doing that right now, tying this game at 2 apiece. And he has it now on a breakaway chance for the lead. Backhand shot denied by Eki. The flying poke check saves today there. And here comes Eki on the counterattack. Holds it, pass across, and he scores! Jonathan Murchison gives Eki the lead back. 3-2 score late in the second period.
What a sequence there. A clutch save with the manual goalie. Eki makes that flying poke check, connects with it, is able to counter-attack, and Jonathan Murchison taps it in, and Eki is back on top when it looked like maybe ECL Sniper was going to be having his first lead of this series.
And that's a great point, Sopley, that you mentioned right there. How close was ECL Sniper to having the lead? We don't talk about how big saves can lead to goal opportunities in the 1v1 side the way that we do on the sixes side, because obviously 1v1, you kind of have to rely more on that computer goalie. Sometimes you go back there and make a play on your own like Eki did there, but he does there. It works out for him. He goes right back on the other end and scores. That is a game-changing and potentially series-altering play right there. It's the difference between a 3-2 Eki lead and a 3-2 ECL Sniper lead heading into this third period.
Yeah, those plays, I mean, they can alter the result of games, for sure. Exactly the same way as big goals, big saves are just as important in the game of hockey and in the video game as well.
As a power play now for ECL Sniper, shot on. It looks like it was patted away there by Robin Leonard, and that will bring us to the end of the second period. Easy Shot Sniper tied this up at 2, but that goal right there from Eki gave himself the lead back, a 3-2 lead. He is yet to trail so far in the series. However, where he has not, though he's not trailed on the scoreboard, he has trailed statistically so far consistently throughout the series. So for Easy Shot Sniper, knowing your tournament is on the line here, you know, what are you kind of telling yourself if you're in his shoes, Stopely? You've played well, but you just have not been able to find that little bit of advantage despite that.
Right. Yeah, I think you just have to keep doing what you're doing. I feel like Easy Shot Sniper has created enough chances for himself. Now he just has to hope that one of them is gonna go in. Not do anything too drastic in terms of changing up how you play. You do have a power play here to start the period, so you do want to try to capitalize on this one, though.
See if he can. He's in the offensive zone now, skating it in with Valerian Nichushkin. He tried to pass it across for a cross crease, picked off, however, by Noah Hannafin for Eki. Eki controlling this here. Gates his way in, trying to work his way through the defense. Does over at the left corner, but he turns it over. Cale Makar with a great defensive play. Gates down the boards with Makar, creates a chance. Stops, pass across, puck loose. Picked up by Leonard. We talked about the speed of Cale Makar at the wing. That's why they use him there. You saw a glimpse of that right there. Just pretty much skated right past the defender. He's got a good chance there out of that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason you want to put your fastest players on the wing. You just get these partial breaks where you just notice your opponent's defenseman is more tired than your Makar or McKinnon, and you just know you can just speed down the wing, and pretty much the best they can do is try to stay in the middle, not let you cut to the middle or get a pass across at the end. But it is a very, very stressful situation seeing your opponent skating down the wing with Makar like that.
Yeah, an Easy Shot Sniper. He's working it in the offensive zone. Has had a couple of chances here, waiting behind that net for something to open up, and has another chance there, but that backhand shot went wide. By the way, the game 2 between Eken and Pikkarii has started up. Pikkarii actually switched teams, going from Vegas to Toronto, so I guess he listened to the broadcast. He said if it wasn't Vegas or Colorado, the teams would probably be Toronto. He switches to Toronto. Pikkarii up 1-0 right now in the late stages of period 1, and in this one, Easy Shot Sniper takes a penalty. Eki on the power play. Big chance for him to extend his lead.
Right, Pikkarii switching teams again. We saw him do that in the spring season as well. I believe that time he went for Carolina instead, but now he's switching to Toronto, so I guess he's listening to us, and you were throwing out the name of Toronto Maple Leafs, and maybe he picked up on that and thought that's going to be a good team to switch to after losing that first game.
Close chance there for Easy Shot Sniper on the penalty killed, and here comes Eki on the other end. Eki holding. Shot on the one-timer. Save made. That's on and in net for Easy Shot Sniper. Another shot on. That one was blocked. Easy Shot Sniper in possession with Malinsky. Just reverses back, trying to kill off that time as much as he can. Gets a line change and moves it up to Nichushkin once he gets off the boards. Controlling it with O'Connor. Back to 5-on-5. A little bit over 12 minutes remaining here in period 3. Easy Shot Sniper down by 1 in the series, down by 1 in game 2. If Eki's able to hold on to this lead, he will punch his ticket to the semifinals tomorrow. Face off against the winner between Nicky Dangles and Sisu. We'll have that series here later today. As here comes Eki on the other end. Puck was in front. Oh, Hurdle almost had a chance, but couldn't get all of that puck. And now here comes the Easy Shot Sniper on the counterattack with Makar. Holding it, pass across, blocked off of a defender in front, and will hold on for a stoppage as Easy Shot Sniper, an offensive zone face-off upcoming for him. As an update from that Eken Pikkarii game, Eken just scored. 2 minutes to go in the first, 1-1. Now your score over there. So we'll continue to try to keep you updated on that game whenever we do have them. So a tie game there, a 1-goal lead for Eki here. Less than 9 minutes to play. Eki in control. Oh, now it's Eken 2-1. Eken just scored right as I said that. So Eken from down 1-0, and now it's 3-1. So Eken with 3 unanswered goals in that one, a 3-1 advantage for him. He's up 1-0 in the series. If he can hold on to that for the next 2 periods, he will move his way into the semifinals. So 2 players, Eki and Eken, up in their series, holding the lead, trying to hold on to it to punch their ticket into tomorrow. Eki in control of the puck right now with Chandler Stevenson. Eki controls it, gives it to Martinez. Now to Carlson at the left faceoff circle. Eki has some space, bump from behind, puck loose, gets it back, just kind of does a spinning backhand from the corner. Save made and puck thrown out. And now for Easy Shot Sniper Sopley, it feels like it's desperation time. 4 minutes to play, you're down by 1, you know you have to win to have a chance at a championship still. He's going to have to throw everything he can at him here.
Yeah, he's going to have to come up with something. In this third period, Eki has been able to play super tight defense and not let ECL Sniper to get any huge scoring chances. And ECL Sniper looks like he's been a little bit too slow with his offense. Even at some points, he's been circling around in the corners a lot and not being able to cut into the middle. But that is huge props to Eki for that as well. He's been able to play really good defense. As I say that, he's going to the box with Thomas Hurdle.
Well, that helps Easy Shot Sniper, because if anyone was going to score shorthanded, more than likely it was going to be Tomas Hurdle with the way things have gone. But Eki, a big penalty to take here late. 96 seconds remaining. He's up by 1, but he's going to have to kill a penalty off a quick shot from Easy Shot Sniper. Save made by Leonard. Eki moving it out of his own zone, and he does here in the neutral zone with Marchessault. Now to Pietrangelo, back to Marchessault, trying to pass it across, but he gets it back to the point instead. Eki controlling it here, holding it behind the net, less than a minute to play. Easy Shot Sniper, down by 1, has the man advantage. He needs a goal to keep his tournament hopes alive. Pass across, was blocked in front by Pietrangelo there. Great defensive play from Eki. He has the puck right now. Easy Shot Sniper, he's got a pressure here. Eki's going to try to drain that time as much as he can. He controls it right now. Eki in the offensive zone, rings it around behind the net to Roy. 30 seconds left now. Time dwindling here for Easy Shot Sniper. Eki, he can see the semifinals right in front of him. Killing off time, taking away possession from Easy Shot Sniper. Just dumps that in. Just 18 seconds remain. Last gasp here for Easy Shot Sniper. He controls it with Nathan McKinnon. Skates it in. Stops. Holds it, 10 seconds, has to get some shots on, pass to McCarr, holding it, poke checked away, behind the net, 5 seconds, has it, lost it, loses it again, Martinez, shot on, can't get it, it was wide, and that will do it. He wins the series 2-0, he punches his ticket into tomorrow, the semifinals await, and he knocks off Easy Shot Sniper after a valiant effort in a very tough series from the young Easy Shot Sniper, who, again, his first big tournament, played well, made it to the semis in the spring season to get here, but Eki, that experience and those quick starts to the first period, once again, what pushes him through.
Yeah, those early starts for Eki in this series, just really massive in terms of contributing to Eki walking away with the win here. Gotta give credit to ECL Sniper as well for putting up really good fights in both games. He did give himself all the chances to tie those games up, but he just wasn't able to break through Eki's defense and goal in the end. And Eki walks away with the 2-0 series win, and I mean, a 2-0 series win is you can't really say that it wasn't deserved when you're able to beat the opponent 2 times in a row. But I feel like that series was a really close one overall, and Eki was just able to edge it out with that experience.
Could have very well gone the 3. A great effort from Easy Shot Sniper. I have no questions. We will be saying his name plenty over the next few years, but today, not his day. Eki moving on to the semifinals, and now our other quarterfinal that has a game decider. Eki currently up 4-2 now over Pikkarii. As we mentioned, Pikkarii switching to Toronto from Vegas, but so far it has not made him too much of a difference, and is back against the wall, the spring champion. Remember, the spring champ here in Pikkarii. Now down, but he cuts the lead to 1 with just a minute remaining. John Tavares puts it in on the cross crease and holds the phone. Pikkarii, similarly to what he did in the last game, cuts the lead down to 1, potentially heading into the third period.
Wow, that was an amazing goal. That's for sure the nicest goal we've seen so far in today's game. So little spinorama there and the pass across, and before that Pikkarii was able to do some moves there as well. But here comes Eken, and he's able to restore the 2-goal lead. Pikkarii was down in this game 4-1. He was able to climb back within 1, but Eken right there before the end of the period is able to restore the 2-goal lead.
A massive goal for Eken right when Pikkarii thought that he had it. Cut down the 1 heading into the period. Eken comes right back, puts it in the back of the net. By the way, that was Nathan McKinnon. He has scored 4 of the 5 goals for Eken so far in this game. So a Tomas Hertl situation. Only for Colorado, that's Nathan McKinnon. Eken up 2 here in this one heading into the 3rd period. Unless we see a very quick goal from the neutral zone, we will not. A 5-3 score after 40 minutes. And, you know, Sopeli, I think we knew that this one was going to be tight. We know what Eken is capable of, a multi-time Swedish champion. But, you know, again, Pikkarii with the momentum of winning that spring championship. Also won the championship on the Sixes side with tunnel vision. He was looking for a clean sweep here in the last month and a half. But shocking to see how much Eken has really taken full control of this series.
Yeah, it will be also interesting to track how many finalists from the previous seasons are able to win their series. As Eki, as a finalist, playing against the top 4 seeded ECL Sniper, was able to get the job done. But here, Eken looks to be the first player that didn't make the finals in their winter season. That is going to be punching their ticket to the top 4 of these grand finals here.
Yeah, Eken has it right now, and I think for him, biggest thing, just playing mistake-free. You see him content just cycling it around, draining that time. Doesn't want to give Pikkarii too much window of opportunity. The more time it ticks off, the closer Eken becomes to punching that ticket that you mentioned into the semifinals. Remember, you can catch our semifinals and finals coverage tomorrow here at SportsGamer GG. As one ticket has already been punched, Eki moving his way through, Eken trying to do the same, but Pikkarii saying not so fast, still a lot of time left. He puts it in with Timothy Liljegren to cut that lead back down to 1, but can he stop Eken from coming on the other end?
Right, a 5-4 game. It's the highest scoring we've had so far today, and Pikkarii has been playing down in this game, and he's again been able to bring it back within 1. And Eken, every time Pikkarii has made it close, he's been able to get a goal of his own, which would be massive for Eken in terms of this whole series now here in this 3rd period of game 2.
As Eken currently in control of possession. 13 minutes to play here in the 3rd. Eken leads by 1. Skates his way through the middle, trying to find some space for an opportunity. Pulls it with Pikkarii. Goes down low, tied up on the boards, and kicks it out. Nichushkin over at the point. Back to Rantanen. Now to Pikkarii at the point. Goes it back to Nichushkin. And you see Eken, he's plenty content just holding on to that puck. Shot on, save made. Big one there for Pikkarii to get here as time starting to dwindle. Almost halfway through this 3rd period. And here comes Pikkarii. Could the tying goal be on his stick here? Stops. Looks. Trying to find some space. Passes in the middle. Shot on. Save made. Big play there for Eken on the defensive side of things. And now he counters on the other end. Turned over, however, as Pikkarii gets it back. 8:50 to play here in period 3. Pikkarii down by 1. He has the puck right now. Controls a shot on, gloved away by Onninen. Played out, but to the stick of Riley for Toronto. Pikkarii behind the net with Austin Matthews. Goes to the right corner, goes to the front, shot on, save made by Onninen, and this time Eken not going to play this one out. A little bit too close for comfort probably that last time. Hold on and he'll freeze it.
Good pressure right now by Pikkarii. He's been able to create a couple of scoring chances here. I believe like 3 shots in a row there on that sequence, and if you're Eken, you gotta stop Pikkarii from getting any of these high danger shots on goal, because I mean you're only up by 1, and you really don't want Pikkarii to complete this comeback, because then it's anyone's game after that point.
And in the offensive zone right now is Eck, and that's one way to stop him from getting any chances on the other end, is just keeping the puck off of his stick. 5 minutes to go, Ecken up by 1. Almost had a chance there on the pass across, but it was deflected. Good defensive play from Pikkarii, who will reverse course and get a line change. Gives it to a fresh Max Domi. Yarn Croc, but couldn't hold it. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Ecken up by 1. A victory clinches his spot into the semifinals tomorrow. He has in the offensive zone right now. Lost it, however, after the bump behind from Pikkarii. 2.5 to play. Pikkarii with possession. Moves it over to Nyes. Nyes tried to pass it across, but couldn't find anyone. And it feels like Pikkarii going to have to maybe start looking for shots on net. Time dwindling. Cannot afford to go into the offensive zone and come out empty-handed. Yarn Croc. Giordano over the Domi, but nothing there. And just feels like Pikkarii, whenever he gets in the offensive zone, he's not able to get anything out of it here. 50 seconds to play. Ecken, the golden shot on save made. Ecken still in control behind the net. 44 seconds remaining. Time starting to really tick down on Pikkarii. The spring champion in a world of trouble here. A loss ends his grand finals early. He has possession in the neutral zone. 32 ticks left on the clock. Controlling Artuzio. Holding it, trying to give it to Tavares. Off the boards, back to Tavares. Holding it right now in the right corner. Bump from behind again. Another offensive possession without a shot for Pikkarii. 18 seconds to play. Ecken in the neutral zone. Nearing to that semifinal spot. He has to hold on for 12 more seconds. He's in the offensive zone. Gives it to Lehkonen. Controls it at the corner board. Just working his way around the puck. 5 seconds to go. And Ecken is going to win against Pikkarii. A 2-0 series sweep. You wouldn't call it an upset with the caliber of a player that Ecken is, but the spring champion just a few weeks ago, 2 games and done. He is out of the grand finals. Ecken punches his ticket into tomorrow, sweeps Pikkarii, and Sopoli, I don't want to say it's an upset, but just looking at the way Pikkarii has played lately, the caliber of a player he is, the form he has been in, coming off of that spring championship just about 3 weeks ago, I don't think anyone had it penciled in that Ecken would not just come in and win, but would come in and sweep him and not even trail throughout most of the series.
Yeah, very convincing stuff from Ecken, gotta say. Pikkarii was, he's the spring champion, so you can't really make a case for him not being a slight favorite in that series, but the margins between these guys, Ecken and Pikkarii, it is just so small, and Ecken was able to just play very convincingly, take that series home, and it just seems like today's form was on the Ecken side on this one.
So we have 2 of our 4 semifinalists to tomorrow. Sharpie Eki winning over Easy Child Sniper 2-0. He awaits the winner between Nicky Dangles and Sisu. And you just saw it right there. Ecken knocks off Pikkarii in a 2-0 series sweep. He will face off against the winner of the series between Temppanen and Artuzio. Those 2 unseen series we will see here a little bit later today. But first, we are going to take a short break, collect ourselves, get things ready to go for those next 2 series. Do not go away. We'll hear a quick word from our sponsor, Coven. I'm not going to see 2 amazing series on tap against between 4 of the best players against each other in Europe. Do not go away. We'll be right back here in just a few moments.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
top with new throwback sauces, only at McDonald's.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Sticking with us, welcome back as we just saw two of our quarterfinals go final. Again, congratulations to both Eki and Eken. 2-0 series sweeps to punch their ticket into tomorrow's semifinals. Brandon B. Major Bixby, Lardy Sopeli Instrom here with you. And Sopeli, we saw two exciting series, really, despite the end results of those series. And now we get two more great ones on tap as we'll see the two matchups for those two winners we just saw as Nikki Dangles matches up against Sisu and Temppanen matches up against Artuzio. And a lot of championships to go around between all four of them. If I'm correct, each of the four have won a title of some sort in the 1v1 scene on the European side. So a lot of pedigree between these four players that are going to be playing here over the next hour to hour and a half.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I believe all of them have won probably even multiple tournaments. Could be wrong about that, but definitely they've all had their moments of greatness. They've made their names very knowable in this community as all four of these guys just top talent players, and I'm gonna be excited to see where these series go. I feel like we should be seeing at least one game 3 in one of these matchups as Artuzio, temppanen, and Nick Dangles against Sisu. Those matchups, to me, just sound like ones that have very high potential of game 3s.
Yeah, and the first one we will be seeing is Artuzio and Temppanen. Again, two guys that are former champions. For Artuzio, it's been a while for him. It doesn't feel like it, but his last title, I think you'd have to go all the way back to 2021, the last time we've seen him hold a trophy above his head. While for Temppanen, he has really emerged as one of the maybe more underrated top 1v1 guys in the scene. He's the 2023 Finnish champion. He's been a top contender really for the last few years. Two guys that would love to add this grand finals title to their resume, and we got to talk to both of them to get a word about what their thoughts are on the series, what they're looking forward to in this tournament, and really again what they feel that tournament championship would mean to them. So let's turn over to that to hear what Artuzio and Templeton have to say going into this matchup. I am now joined by Artuzio. Artuzio, thank you so much for taking a few moments to join me here.
Yeah, this is exciting to have ECL grand finals this weekend. So let's see how it goes for me.
Yeah, man, for sure. And, gotta be feeling good about the grand finals after a great spring campaign for you, making it all the way to the semifinals. And you go up against a few competitors that you're very, very familiar with here in the 1v1 scene. What's the preparation look like for you going into this tournament?
I played a lot against the top guys here in EU and switch the teams and trying to learn the game in a new way and try to get some advantage to play aggressive and so on. So I think my ECL spring was a quite, what's the word? It was so challenging for me that group stage, but in the playoffs I got some motivation to play to the. I thought that there is LAN finals and that motivated to me to the play for my best. And now we have this top 8 stage and let's see how it goes. I'm eager to win this world tournament, of course.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you. You mentioned being eager to win. You've won at so many different levels in multiple different tournaments, and you go up against Templeton in the quarterfinals, who also has been able to win at a high level, just like yourself, being a former ESHM champion, making it to the finals during the winter season of this tournament. Just kind of looking at him and his game, what do you see in him as an opponent?
I have to play carefully. He's so good and patient with the puck in my D zone, so I have to defend well and don't rush too much, but I try to play, of course, aggressive against him. I think that's the only way to win his game style, because if you give him too much time, you find puck from your own net. So I try to defend so well I can and use my counterattacks.
Yeah, you mentioned trying to kind of get those counterattacks and really trying to key in on the defensive end. Is there anything specifically from him offensively that you're going to have to look out for to defend that?
He's so good, like near of the net and behind the net. So I have to defend the crossing lanes and be like between the goal and his player. So cannot give him much space if I want to win tomorrow.
Absolutely, Artuzio. One more question for you. Don't want to take up too much of your time. We mentioned it earlier, but you're one of the most accomplished players in Europe, arguably throughout the entire globe. A multi-time Finnish champion, a former European champion. You've won the ECL 1v1 championship before in the past. In your experience, what does it take to be able to win a title at such a high level against some of the best players throughout the world?
It means a lot. I haven't been at tournament I guess in 2 or 3 years now. So I'm so motivated to train and be at the top of the level in the game. Also, and I have had so many top 4 places and not the final stages, but I think I'm doing it now, and now it's my turn to get the cup.
You say it's your turn to get the cup. We'll see if it happens, my man. Artuzio, thank you again so much for taking a few moments, and best of luck to you here in the quarterfinals.
Thanks, man.
With your matchup in the quarterfinals being against another familiar name in Artuzio, a fellow former Finnish champion, someone that I know that you've seen throughout the years plenty of times here in the 1v1 scene. You know, as you look at this matchup, what do you see in him as an opponent, and is there anything specific that you're going to be looking out for against him?
Yeah, I think I need to defense his counter attacks pretty well. I think he's one of the best in counter attacks. So yeah, I think that's one of the most.
As you see both temppanen and Artuzio lined up and pretty much ready to go here in this matchup. And, you know, we did all this talking soapily about, oh, it's going to be Vegas, it's going to be Colorado. Maybe you'll see some Toronto or Carolina if you're lucky. temppanen decided, I'm going to go ahead and throw the LA Kings in there because why not?
Little correction, it's Artuzio, but
Artuzio,
yeah,
yeah,
we see LA Kings pick, which that didn't even cross my mind as an option in this game. But I guess Artuzio knows something that the other players don't. He's actually a very unique type of player in my books, at least. He plays the game in a little bit of a different way than most other players. He's super straightforward hockey. He tries to shoot it from a lot of places, and he's just very good at scoring from his chances as well. He always ends up with really good shooting percentages in his games, and it's just very hard to defend against him. But LA Kings, that to me is just a wild pick in terms of the team choice here.
Yeah, and thank you again for correcting me. That is Artuzio using the LA Kings. We were looking at his perspective on the ice, while for temppanen using Vegas, those alternate gray uniforms. Artuzio in those LA Kings away whites. As a delayed penalty going to be called against Artuzio here. temppanen about to go on a power play. You know, you mentioned it, a little bit unorthodox, it felt like, in terms of the team choice, but you kind of just go and you look at some of the players that are available to you. Maybe not the most speed on this LA Kings team, but you do have some solid players. You have Kopitar, you have Byfield, you have Arvidsson, you have Doughty back there. There's some options to work with in terms of who's available for the Kings, but again, just compare it to some of the other options, like a Vegas, like a Colorado, even others like a Toronto or a Carolina. LA might be the 12th or 13th team you think of in terms of teams you would use. You would maybe even assume maybe a team like Florida or Edmonton would be picked before LA, but
yeah,
you know, Artuzio using something a little bit unique that he feels fits his play style a little bit more.
Yeah, that's gotta be it, and I guess he probably has some sleeper players on this roster as well, as temppanen is gonna score the first goal of the game. Mark Stone on the back door.
Didn't take him long on the power play. temppanen gets on the board first, as he mentioned, with Mark Stone. So a early 1-0 lead here for temppanen. As this is going to be interesting to watch out for. You heard temppanen talk about how important the defense was going to be for him. So far, his offense has been his defense. And who else? Tomas Hertl puts it in the back of the net. And temppanen 2-0, 5 minutes into this first period.
Tomas Hertl, it just has to always be Hertl, it seems. But yeah, what I was going for with speaking about the LA Kings for a second still, there's a lot of players that just are like very under the radar. For example, Adrian Kempe, a big body, a pretty fast player, and I believe he has the ability wheels, which makes him even faster with the puck, which is something that I'm assuming Artuzio must have looked at and thought that that's a player you really want on the team that you're playing with. But so far, the choice of LA Kings is not paying off, as temppanen is just putting one puck after another on net, and they're all going in. Shea Theodore snipes that one low, far side on the goalie of LA Kings. I'm not even sure who Artuzio is playing in their net, actually.
3 goals in the first 6:57 of this game, and each of them have come in the last 4 or 5 minutes as Artuzio in the offensive end. That was Kempe with that shot on, and you mentioned even a few other guys. You mentioned Kempe. You also have guys like Dano, you have Fiala, you have Arvidsson, you have guys that have a little bit of speed that can score, but the problem for Artuzio is he's not been able to get out of his own end for the most part. It's Cam Talbot that is the goaltender for Artuzio in this one. So, again, I'm not even really sure if it's really the team choice right now necessarily, as much as it is tempting hemming Artuzio in his own end. He hasn't been able to get out of that defensive zone so far.
Yeah, and Talbot is on paper not a bad goalie at all, so can't really even go behind that excuse at this point, except a couple of the goals were looking a little bit like the goalie could have them, but gotta give credit to Temppanen as well for finishing those plays off.
As a penalty going to be called against Artuzio, Quinton Byfield in front. I believe they called it as an interference, so a power play upcoming for Temppanen. I believe he accidentally pulled his goalie there as well. By the way, we want to thank Jax for the raid on the Twitch side of things. Welcome in everyone that came in from his stream. If you're just now joining us, this is the ECL 1v1 Grand Finals quarterfinals. As we had our first 2 series just a few minutes ago. Eki and Eken moved on to our semifinals for tomorrow. This is Artuzio versus Temppanen. And our other series that will be starting here in just a few minutes is Sisu versus Nicky Dangles. Each of our 4 players that are going to be playing here over the next hour to hour and a half, all former champions in respective tournaments here. So a lot of high-end action on the 1v1 side. Some of the best players you'll find in Europe right here on our broadcast today. So make sure you stick with us. We also want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsor in Artuzio for their amazing and generous support of everything we do here at SportsGamer and for the ECL, as Temppanen's power play did not go to plan, as Artuzio gets Quinton Byfield out of the box back to even strength. It's Artuzio in the offensive end. Puck was in front. Talbot scrambling, finds itself behind the net. Temppanen still pushing, however, with Jack Eichel in possession. Temppanen holding, trying to get past Doughty. Great defense from Artuzio. Shot on, blocked in front, and Artuzio finally able to get it out of his own zone for now. Loses it immediately, however, in the neutral zone, and back to the offensive rush goes Temppanen on the other end. Tomas Hertl with it. Lost it, however, and it's picked up by Artuzio. And Sopley, if you're Artuzio, how do you turn this game around? Not much has gone your way. You struggled to find offense. Temppanen pretty much controlling the game in every facet. What do you feel like Artuzio needs to do to get this game back at least on an even scale, or hopefully at some point in his favor, being down by 3? That's a good way to do it. Drive the net with your big body, and Quinton Byfield puts it in the back of the net, so he cuts that lead down to 2.
Yeah, the thing is, actually, I'm usually the one that is surprised by the way Artuzio is able to turn games around, so I'm not sure if I'm the right person to comment on this. He always just seems to find a way. He's had some of the craziest matches I've ever seen in terms of comebacks and tight games. For example, his series against Eki in the GWC console final stage. That series, I believe, went to 3 overtimes, so every single game went to OT, and he was just short of being able to beat Eki in that one, as well as he always seems to have super high scoring games. We've seen him have a 21 goal game in the group stage of the spring season in this tournament, so I feel like he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. We'll see if Temppanen is able to maintain this 2-goal lead going forward, but I think if anyone is gonna complete a 3-goal comeback, it's Artuzio.
And not only that, but it's 3 now down to 2. He's going to have to kill off a penalty here as we get back underway for the second period. But I do want to say one thing. Artuzio's done a lot of things, Sopley, but you've done one thing he hasn't. I want to see Artuzio go and win a game in the middle of the forest. You've done that, he hasn't, so I'm willing to hear your advice on things like this. Give yourself some more credit, my friend.
Right, yeah. The forest is actually a very difficult place to play ice hockey, as Temppanen seems to be doing very fine on the ice right now with Tomas Hertl. Who else? He scores his second of the game, puts Temppanen back up by 3, and yeah, it seems to be going pretty well for Temppanen right now on the ice. He doesn't need to play in the forest.
Yeah, all roads seem to lead to Hurdle, and guys, I'm not kidding, Sopley actually has played and won a game in the forest. Make sure you do check his stuff out on his YouTube channel. Amazing creative stuff he's doing over there. Amazing job he's doing in the broadcast booth with me again today. Artuzio, however, on the ice, responding right back to Temppanen, cuts that lead back down to 2. Victor Arvidsson punches it in front.
A little 5-hole shot there, just catches Slenner by surprise there, and just like that, it just does seem like Artuzio is just able to find the way to score from anywhere, it seems. He is still trailing by 2, but let's see if he's able to climb back in this one as he takes the shot. And Kevin Fiala with that make it snappy ability. Again, one of these guys you don't really consider him when picking a team, but a guy like that with make it snappy, you just have a lot higher odds of scoring a shot whenever you have that ability on. And Artuzio has definitely done his homework when it comes to who has what abilities and how he can utilize them.
Yeah, you can tell he thought this out a bit. You know, again, this is an LA team that not many would have thought about being one used in a tournament so massive like this one, but seems to be working rather well so far for Artuzio. Cuts the lead down the 1 after being down 3-0 early, and he has a chance here to tie it as Arvidsson's shot. Looks like it may have been partially saved. Didn't have a whole lot of danger in front there, but nevertheless, Artuzio doing well here so far. And how about the movement there from him skating through to get Temppanen a little bit off defensively, giving Fiala that open space for the shot. Artuzio, his just player and stick movement, something very underrated about his game. He's such a smart player with when he has the puck. His goaltender had to step up and make a save on that one, and Temppanen still pushing here on the offensive end. Turned it over,
and
however, now Artuzio gets it.
And to create that last opportunity for Artuzio, he actually used a really good saucer pass to create that space for him, and that is just something that on the top level you're able to utilize to make plays that wouldn't be possible without utilizing the saucer passes.
Looking for that shot in the high slot, but couldn't get it through was Temppanen. He still controls the puck right now, looking for options. Almost halfway through this one, Temppanen leads by 1. He was up 3-0 early. His lead now cut down to a 4-3 scoreline. Artuzio, he's found his rhythm after that very sluggish start that he had to this game, almost similar to what we saw from Easy Chaw Sniper in games 1 and 2. Artuzio has it now, looking for the tying goal. Shot on from Moore, didn't get all of the goaltender, and another delayed penalty going to be called against Artuzio. That's something he is going to have to look out for. He's taken a few penalties. Temppanen's already got 1 power play goal in this game, and if you want to try to climb your way back into this one and tie this game, you're going to have to stay out of the box.
Yeah, and a couple of interference calls as well in the offensive zone. That is just something you don't want to be doing. It's possibly a little bit of you trying to do a little bit too much in the offensive zone, just trying to shoot a loose puck when you don't have the control of it, and that just leads to an unnecessary interference penalty in the end. But at the same time, I do understand that Artuzio is a player who wants to play super aggressive, so he does want to take his chances in times like that, and Temppanen with that little sneaky 5-hole play is able to tuck that in with Jack Eichel. We've seen him do it in the past tournaments, and now he hits one. Jack Eichel coming off the side of the net and tucks that 5-hole on Talbot.
And that's why we talked about it there, Sopley. It's why you do want to try to stay out of the box. Temppanen's so good on his own offensively. You give him that man advantage, and he can really make some magic happen. He does so right there, extends his lead to 2. But Artuzio, can he get it back to 1? This is Dubois with it. Shot on, save made for Temppanen. Artuzio still pushing. Shot on goes wide on the cross crease. Artuzio still in possession. Gavrikov shot on, puck saved again. That was more on the rebound shot. Another chance, puck loose in front, full pressure for Artuzio. And it's saved by Temppanen, who will hold on for the stoppage, but it feels like every time Temppanen brings up the 2, Artuzio comes right back and just peppers them with chance after chance after chance, and wisely Temppanen going to take a timeout to kill off that full pressure.
Yeah, good choice there, as Artuzio was getting a little bit too much pressure in the zone of Temppanen, and Temppanen just calms it down, takes a little bit of a breath, resets that pressure meter, is able to get his lines refreshed, and start with a fresh group of people on the ice.
He gets in the offensive zone. Now it's a pass across. Has some space if the shot got there, but it didn't. Controls it with Theodore at the point. Temppanen moving it around. 3.5 to play here in period 2. With the left corner board, goes down low behind the net. Lost it. 2 against 1 in favor of Artuzio, but the one ends up getting it. And who else but Tomas Hurta? Shot on, goes wide, was blocked in front. As Artuzio gets it, and will control this with Adrian Kempe. Moves up to Byfield. Moves it, tried to move that across. Had a chance there to get the shot on, but couldn't. Pass in front, picked up by Aiden Hill as he'll hold on for the stop. As feels like Quentin Byfield has been someone that Artuzio has really tried to favor as well. He has a bigger frame, 6'4", well over 200 pounds. He's been kind of using it to shield off defenders at times whenever he's driven the net.
Right, and he's even using him as a left winger, which is interesting. I'm assuming that's because LA probably doesn't have too many right-handed wingers to be used, so he's using Byfield as a left wing, but with that big body, he's just able to drive the net and utilize that to his advantage.
2-on-1 pass across didn't lead to a shot. I'll do it there for period 2. Temppanen extends his lead to 2 with that power play goal. You saw a quick look at the stats. 10 shots for Artuzio, 16 for Temppanen. Remember, Temppanen had such a blistering start in the first 10 minutes of this game to where a lot of that advantage is heavily favored towards that. So Artuzio, he's gotten things going in the late stages of this game as he has another chance here as Kempe's shot went wide. Temppanen able to get it out of the zone. These two just go back and forth, it feels like, Soakley. Every time you think you have a chance to take a breath, one of them comes right on the other end and gets a grand opportunity to score.
Yeah, I feel like both of these players are ones that really take their chances every time they see an opportunity that maybe from this I'm able to score. They just go for it, and sometimes it leads to games where it's just constant chaos, just going coast to coast all the time. And I mean that's where the best content is at. That's kind of what we want to see as well. Just a lot of action going on.
Oh, it makes it fun to watch for the viewers. It makes it even more fun for us to call, as we've had a lot of those types of games. We saw Eken and Pikkarii had some high-scoring games. Easy Shot Sniper and Eki with high-scoring games. I have to double-check the stats, but I'm pretty sure each of our games combined have seen more than 5 goals. So it just goes to show you that as great as these players are defensively, the offensive skill is so there. It's tough to defend as Temppanen almost extended his lead to 3. Could not get that shot on net cleanly, however.
Yeah, and
it's 5 goals.
Yeah, you mentioned that games have been high scoring, and it is actually kind of surprising to me because NHL 24, at least in my books, is not a super offense like promoting game. It is pretty balanced, but like compared to the previous NHL 23 or even like NHL 21, we saw those games heavily favor the offense, but in this game it seems like it is a little bit more defensive overall in terms of how the game is played, and because of that it's actually kind of surprising how many goals we've been seeing. I guess that just shows you that the players have found good ways to score in this game.
Yeah, and I think that we've kind of seen the offense open up more as this game has moved on. The NHL 24 is so much different than the previous NHLs. Artuzio, speaking of goal scoring, puts one on the board off of the rebound. Philip Deneau on that shot from Doughty at the point puts it in, and he did it short-handed as well, so makes up for one of those power play goals he allowed earlier, cuts the lead to 1, and still a lot of time left here in this third period.
And yeah, just like that, like out of nowhere on the penalty kill, Artuzio is able to strike through, and Temppanen still does have a brief power play here to try to go 1-1 on this power play, but it doesn't look likely as the last seconds dwindle down.
Temppanen controls it, gets it past the blue line, back to even strength as Artuzio not only kills off the penalty, but scores one shorthanded. 4-5 score line now in favor of Temppanen with 9 minutes to play here in regulation. We've yet to see any overtime so far today, despite a lot of close games. Temppanen moves it behind the net, lost it, however. A nice defensive play made by Artuzio, who will just hold this and get a line change. 7:40 remaining. Kempe controls it at the right boards. Nice little stop and go from Artuzio to create some space, but he's hit off of that puck. It's found by Temppanen behind the net. Controls it with Pietrangelo. Moves it to Theo. Shot on, save made. Another save made there off of the rebound chance. The exact same play Artuzio just scored on. Temppanen gets denied from. As Artuzio tries to counter on the other end with a chance, but is not able to do so. Puck in the neutral zone is found by Artuzio. Just 5:15 remaining now. In period 3, Artuzio going to have to start to think about ramping up the aggression here as time starts to tick. Controls with Fiala, tried to find Deneau in the slot, but couldn't hit him on that pass. He goes all the way to the opposite end of the ice. And now will force a reset in the line change. Roy controls it, gives it to Dubois. Lost, picked up by Haig for Temppanen. Great defensive play. A little bit over 3 minutes now remaining, and now is where you feel like Artuzio is going to have to start taking some chances here to get that goal. Temppanen controls it right now. Gets a line change. Artuzio does the same. Moves it up to Carlson. Past the blue line. Gives it up. Shot on! He score! A thing of beauty from Temppanen. Puts his lead back up to 2. And could that very well be the dagger that he was looking for in game 1?
That very well could be the dagger. Just under 2 minutes remaining, and Temppanen, he's a player that is just sneaky, really good at everything. He's really good on offense. He's really good on defense. In my opinion, he honestly doesn't get enough credit for the way he plays the game. That one's going to be turned aside by his goalie right there, as Artuzio is desperately trying to climb his way back into this game.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it with you earlier. I think the Temppanen, when you think of some of the top-end players on the European scene, it feels like he's not always one of the first names that you mentioned. Obviously, you think of Eki, you think of Eken, you think of Sisu, you think of Pikkarii, I think, at this point, with how he's played this year, Artuzio as well, and all rightfully so. Nicky Dangles has really entered that conversation over the last year, but it feels like Temppanen often the guy where you're like, yeah, you know, Temppanen too. He's proven that he is one of the best players. Again, the 2023 Finnish champion, he's won titles before in this level. So he's a guy that a lot of people, I think, sometimes can forget about when you think about these top players. Temppanen showing himself why he's a top player. A 6-4 victory in game 1 against Artuzio. He takes the series lead 1-0. 1 win away. Punching his ticket into the semifinals tomorrow. Sisu and Nicky Dangles, by the way, have started up. Nicky Dangles up 1-0 in the first period. We'll cut over to that game as soon as we can, but you do see the stats right there. And Temppanen really controlling most of the play. Artuzio had some chances, but that quick start, the 3-0 lead in the first minute, or the first period, the first few minutes for Temppanen, once again, it's really what pushed him through. Those quick starts so far, Sopley, really have seemed to be a big factor in a lot of these games we've seen today so far.
Yeah, has been a little bit of a theme we've seen, and in this game, Nicky Dangles is up by 4 in the first 15 minutes of the game, so the theme continues. A lot of quick starts to games. We saw Eki with a couple of quick goals. We saw Temppanen with a couple of quick goals to start the game, and now Nicky Dangles already up 4-0 against Sisu, and this is the biggest lead we've seen so far today.
And 3 of these goals have been within the last few minutes. It was 1-0 right in the middle of that third period, with about 2 or 3 minutes to go of that third period between Artuzio and Temppanen. Oh, what a move! Oh, what a play! Just couldn't finish it, but Nicky Dangles almost put one on the highlight reel right there. He's still pushing for a goal.
That one would have been a contender for the goal of the day so far, for sure. A beautiful little between the legs move with Rantanen, but of course, the game says no, and that shot just hits the post.
So 3 goals in the last 5 or 6 minutes for Nicky Dangles. Both of them are using Colorado. We are looking at the perspective of Nicky Dangles. He is in those maroon-colored home jerseys of Colorado. Looks like maybe the throwbacks from the Reebok era, while for Sisu, he's using the road retro reverse Quebec Nordiques inspired jerseys. So Nicky Dangle's in the offensive zone right now, trying to find some space, got a shot on, the save was made, and you know, it's kind of tough to say how this game has gone, just because obviously our attention was turned to that close contest between Artuzio and Temppanen, but you know, if you are Sisu, how do you try to turn this thing around? Being down by 4, Nicky Dangle's obviously plenty feeling himself, pulling out between the legs moves and scoring 4 goals in 1 period alone. You know, Sisu, he's a former champion, but he's not used to being down 4-0, let alone this early. So if you're him, what do you feel like you need to do to try to get a little bit of momentum back on your side in this one?
It is going to be tough. I feel like Nicky Dangles is one of the players that is actually able to keep playing the exact same way no matter what the situation in the game is. So that just means you have to constantly also be battling to not let Nick score more goals on the board. Though you do have the occasional chance to score on the counterattacks if Nicky Dangles is playing a little bit too aggressively. But it is going to be really tough. I don't know how Sisu would be able to come back from this, but maybe he has some answers that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned this earlier, Sisu is a former champion. We saw him last year, you know, be one of the youngest players we've seen win a title, and Sisu gets a goal right there, so he cuts that lead from 4 down to 3. Remember, Sisu, he was the youngest, or one of the youngest champions last year. He's just 18. He's the second youngest player in this tournament. Easy Shot Sniper being the youngest at just 16. Sisu was a guy that at a young age has a lot of experience on his side.
Yeah, he's actually proven time and time again that he is able to make it far in tournaments, as he has in many tournaments been in at least like a top 8 position, and for a player his age, that is unmatched, I would guess.
Yeah, and you know, Nicky Dangle's obviously a younger guy as well, not as young as Sisu, in his early 20s, but you know, Nicky Dangles, he's a guy that also is young. So you're seeing a lot of the up-and-comers here in this tournament that have already really won and have made some things happen in their careers, as Sisu's starting to bring on some pressure here. And you see Nicky Dangles, he's going to call a timeout, kill off that full pressure. And it feels like that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Sisu. Generate some chances, apply some pressure, and really just kind of calm down the fury of opportunities that we saw Nicky Dangles creating.
Yeah, it seems like Sisu was able to really reverse the course of this game in that intermission. He does still trail by 3, so he does have to keep that up, which is not going to be easy, but so far a really good start to the second period and an early goal. He is on pace to score those 3 goals if he keeps scoring 1 per 10 minutes, as Nicky Dangles gets an opportunity, but Anonen is going to save that one.
We mentioned it earlier, the big thank you to Chris on the production for confirming this for us. Every game has seen at least 5 goals. So 5 goals or more in every game that we have covered so far today in these quarterfinals. We've already matched 5 here, and there's still 30 more minutes to go in this contest. So no shortage of offense. If you love goal scoring, you are at the right place. Our ECL 1v1 grand finals, the quarterfinals of this tournament. Each series of best of 3, and Sisu with a chance, shot on, and he scores! Sisu slowly but surely climbing his way back. He cuts the lead down to 2, and all of a sudden, feels like the tide's starting to turn in his favor.
Yeah, he is on pace. He is on pace to tie this up if he can keep this going for him, as the second period has pretty much been all Sisu. Nicky did have that one opportunity in front, but wasn't able to bury it, and other than that, Sisu seems to be creating a lot of offense here, and if you're Nicky, you really should be worried at this point, as Sisu is coming down the ice again and almost scoring that one.
Great chance there, but Sisu not able to put it in. Nicky Dangles, he was the finalist in the spring season, lost to Pikkarii in a 3-game best-of-3 series. We already saw Pikkarii get knocked out earlier. It's not been a great showing so far for the spring guys. Artuzio down 1-0. Pikkarii knocked out earlier, Easy Shot Sniper knocked out earlier, so we have yet to see anyone from the spring season win a game so far today. Nicky Dangle's looking to change that, but Sisu punching back after being down by 4.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting you brought that up, that none of the spring season guys have been able to win, which is kind of shocking considering that they have a smaller time gap since they've played at this level the last time, basically.
Yeah, and if I am correct, out of the guys that qualified for the spring season, Nicky Dangles was the only one that did not play during the winter season. So, you know, the winter guys, they were able to qualify in first from their performance in a slightly larger group of higher competition, because some of those guys that didn't qualify were able to go in and try again the spring season, while the winter season players didn't have to play the spring season because they already made their place into these grand finals. So just with the way that the format is, you know, we're kind of seeing that some of those winter guys, they were able to qualify earlier for a reason. They're kind of showing that here so far in the early going.
Yeah, that's the opposite view as well. The fact that this winter season was a little bit more demanding, so that definitely the point stands for sure that it does make sense that the winter season players that made the finals there would be the best players in Europe. So let's see if they're all able to somehow make it through, but Nicky Dangles is looking to make a change to that.
So we're into the third period now. These two, they wasted no time getting out of that intermission. Nicky Dangles holding a 2-goal lead still, but nevertheless, Sisu punching back. He has a chance here. Shot on, he scores! Landeskog on the cross crease, and from 4-0 down, Sisu just 1 goal away from tying this back up. An early third period goal will help his chances here.
He's scoring at that 1 goal per 10 minutes pace, man. He is on pace to tie this game up, but here Sneaker doesn't get the shot off with Makar. And I mean, Sisu has made this a game. I feel like at this point anything can happen here.
Indeed it can, as here he comes on the offensive end now, controlling Makar. Goes down low behind the net. Tried to pass across, another shot on. I believe that may have been blocked in front. Nicky Dangle is able to get out of danger, however. Tays to Middlestad, over to Makar. Oh, a chance there for Nicky Dangles. He couldn't get it on that backhand cleanly. He still controls it, however. Kale Makar, over to Middlestad. Over the face-off circle, tried to find Rantanen on the other end, but couldn't. Controls Rantanen now. Demands it at the point, turned over, however, after the pass attempt, and here comes Sisu now countering. As he works his way past the defense into the offensive zone. Pass across, picked off there by Nicky Dangles. Good defensive play from him as he moves into the neutral zone now. 12.5 to play here in period 3. Sisu looked out of this one. He gets 3 straight goals, cuts a 4-goal lead to a 1-goal lead. Not often we see Nicky Dangles surrender a lead like this, but Sisu, one of the top players in the world for a reason, a former ECL 1v1 champion just a year ago. One of the youngest champions we've ever seen on the 1v1 end, just 18 years old. He controls it right now, moving it past the blue line. Shot on, save made by Oninen. Sisu still pushing. Pass across, shot, and he scores! Matthew Ward ties it up for Sisu! An improbable comeback!
Wow. From down 4-0, Sisu has just been able to score every 10 minutes. He scored right at the start of the second period and right at the start of the third period, as well as the midway point of both of these periods. He's just been scoring at that steady pace, and Nicky Dangles hasn't had offense since period 1. And somehow he finds himself in a position where he has to score to win this game.
And it's just crazy how things can shift so quickly. We went from seeing Nicky Dangles pulling off highlight reel plays between the legs digs, moving between the defense, smiling and laughing over on his cam at the bottom right corner. And now you can see the expressions for him has changed. He is very much locked in. And, you know, I'm not saying that he let his foot off the gas pedal. That is not Nicky Dangles at all. This is just Sisu really ramping his game up and finding that extra level that he didn't see in the first period.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that Nikke isn't necessarily the type of player to let his foot off the gas here, and that might contribute to the possibility of comebacks against him, because he doesn't get passive at all. It seems he tries to keep his offense going as well, which hasn't been working out for the past 2 periods, not gonna lie. Sisu has been able to shut down Nikke's offense pretty well, and on the contrary, Sisu has just been able to counter-attack whenever he's got the puck from Nikke.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Nikke, he's a guy that, again, plays very aggressive. It doesn't matter what the score is. He's going to play the same way. He's a very high-flying, high-action, high-octane type of player. He really values that goal scoring, but, you know, goal scoring wasn't even what he was most focused on. We'll hear from both him and Sisu once we do get out of this game for interviews, but more pressing matters on hand right now. Nikke had a 4-goal lead, and Sisu's come right back with 4 goals of his own. We have just 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in regulation. We potentially see our first overtime. The shot on there from Nikke was blocked in front. He still controls it, however. And the net to O'Connor. Pass in front, and they score! Ross Colton puts it in for Nikke! And he gets his lead back. And boy, if Sisu drops this one like that, that has got to be crushing. Coming back from 4 goals down, and Nikke scores with just 87 seconds remaining. But here comes Sisu on the other end. Pass across doesn't get there. Nikke now in control of it.
Yeah, it would be absolutely crushing for Sisu here, as Nikke is gonna score again. And that might just be the game for Sisu. An unbelievable comeback from down 4-0. He was able to climb and tie it up, but it's just not gonna be enough, it looks like.
Sisu does have possession, but just 42 seconds. I mean, these 2 goals, he gets one there! Holy moly, back and forth we go!
Did I jinx this now?
Nikke might want to have a word with you if you did, but we're about to see. We've got 42 seconds. That's a lot of time. 40 seconds now, real time. Nikke in control of it, the cornerboard, loses it. Here comes Sisu down the other end. Can he do it again? Has Middlestat with space, but he turns it over on the pass attempt. Here comes Nikke. Breakaway chance. This is Colton one-on-one with the goaltender. Forehand shot. He scores. Nikke gets that second goal back. Ross Colton gets the hat-trick goal, and it's back up to 2 like nothing ever happened.
See, yeah, Nikke made this one interesting for sure. He first blows that 4-goal lead. Sisu is able to climb back, and then he almost made it close here in the end, letting Sisu climb back within 1 as well, but luckily for Nikke, he's able to hold on to this lead, which he had for almost the entire game, and he takes home the Game 1 victory.
So, a back and forth affair between those two. With Nikke Dangles putting on an absolute show. A 7-5 victory for Nikke Dangles, from a 4-0 lead to a comeback from Sisu to tie at 4-4, to a 1-goal game with 87 seconds left, to a 2-goal game with 50 seconds left, to back to a 1-goal game with 40 seconds left, to back to a 2-goal game with 30 seconds left. And that is where we end off. Nikke Dangles, a victory over Sisu in game number 1. The first spring representative actually to win a game so far here today, as Artuzio down 1-0 against Temppanen. Nikke Dangles up 1-0 against Sisu. And I mean, Sopley, let's just take a second here to collect our breaths. We did get to talk to both Sisu and Nikke Dangles before the action here today, just kind of getting their thoughts on the series as well as their experience heading into this grand final. So let's kick it over to them and hear a word on what they think coming into today. I am now joined by Sisu. Sisu, thank you so much for taking a few moments to join me here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely great to get to talk to you here for a few moments. You know, starting off, obviously so much experience and successes for you in your 1v1 career. You're already ECL champion, winning the 23 Winter 1v1 tournament. You've played on some of the biggest stages that there are here in Europe and throughout the globe. I got to ask, how do you feel your previous experiences and successes will help you here in this tournament?
Of course, it helps because you know the stages, you know what it needs to win, and of course, in like mental process, it helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the winter season, which is how you were able to qualify through the grand finals, you were able to make it all the way to the semis. Obviously, a bit of a gap between now and when you last played a high-end competitive tournament such as this one. So, I got to ask, how do you feel like you've been preparing for these grand finals with there being that bit of layoff between now and the last time you've played on that high-end stage?
To be honest, I haven't played a lot, but still, I think that I know my own strengths and I can play with them. So I have to be creative and in offensive zone and have tight D. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And your opponent on the other side, Nikki Dangles, in the quarterfinals, obviously someone that I know you're pretty familiar with. What are your thoughts on his game, and is there anything specific that you're going to be expecting to see in this series against him?
I'm expecting a lot of goals because it's so hard to defense on this NHL version. So I think who just can play better offensive game is going to win the series.
For sure. And Sisu, last question for you. Don't want to take up too much to your time. I know you mentioned offense just now, but if you did have to pick one key or factor that you believe will be the most important to winning this series, what would that be in your opinion and why?
I think like the mental game, like if you go down by 2, down by 3, like you have just to like play your own game and play with your strengths.
Absolutely. We'll see who can do that. Two of the best players in Europe matching up in this one. Going to be an absolute treat to watch. Sisu, thank you once again for taking a few moments, and best of luck to you here in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, thank you.
I am now joined by Nikki Dangles. Nikki, thank you so much for taking a few moments to chat with me here today.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, man. And, obviously a great spring season for you, making it all the way into the finals, pushing it to all 3 games just a few weeks ago. I got to ask, going into these grand finals, how are you feeling about your game?
To be honest, I haven't played that much, so I'm not that confident. But if I can play my best game, I think I'll win it.
Yeah, and we have seen you at that high level before. It is such a fun thing to watch. And you're matching up against a familiar name in Sisu in these quarterfinals. In what you've seen from him in the past, what do you see in him as an opponent? And is there anything specific that you're going to be looking out for against him?
I need to shut his offense down. He's one of the best offensive guys. So if I want to win, I need to keep his offense down.
Yeah, and going to be so fun to watch. Both of you guys, obviously, so good offensively. Do you feel like that's going to be the biggest key to your success in the series? Do you feel like there's something else as well that you're going to have to really hone in on?
Oh, I just need to play my own game. If I get my own game rolling, no one is stopping me, I feel like. But, I haven't played, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and we've seen you lift one 1v1 title during this last couple of months. The Finnish championship just a few months ago. Congrats again on that. That was your first big 1v1 championship win, and now that you have lifted that title once, and you've gone against multiple players that are also in this tournament to win that championship, how much does that help your confidence going into this tournament, knowing that you've done it once and that you've gone through multiple guys that you're going to be facing in this tournament in order to win that title?
I mean, of course, it gives me a confidence booster. Before the Finnish champ win, I have been so close winning GWC, being in Finnish champ second place many times. So it was nice to win the tournament and get some confidence to my game.
Nikki, last question for you. Don't want to take up too much of your time. again, winning that championship, making it to the finals in spring, you'd be able to have 2 trophies at the end of it for this NHL 24 cycle after starting it with just looking for that first. How special would that be to be able to add that grand finals championship to your 1v1 resume?
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to win last NHL 24 tournament and a big tournament, so it would be nice to win.
We'll see if you can end things off with a bang, my friend. Thank you so much once again for taking a few moments, and best of luck to you in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to both Sisu and Nick Dangles for taking a few moments to chat with me there yesterday. And I think the most interesting thing, Sopley, that I took away is that when I asked them what do they think is going to be the most important factor in the series, they said 2 totally different things. Sisu said offense, Nick Dangles said defense. So kind of interesting to see them coming into the series with 2 very different mindsets on what they think is going to be the biggest key to moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, I think both of them are super talented offensively, so I think both of them recognize that as well, and Sisu just tries to focus more on his own offense, whereas Nick is maybe able to like look at it more from the perspective of the whole matchup, where he realizes that he can't really go into a shootout where both of them are just chance after chance, because he recognizes the fact that Sisu is unbelievably good at scoring goals as well, so maybe he wants to focus on defense because of that. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, you heard him say it there, that he said it, Sisu is one of the best offensive players in the game. And, I think that we definitely saw Sisu find his offense. I know Nikkei probably not going to love the defensive performance there, allowing 5 goals. But, hey, the offense was able to step up. So it's kind of interesting that that happened the way it did, especially after both their comments. We have Artuzio and temppanen now underway. As, remember, Artuzio dropping that first game 4-6. temppanen with a chance to clinch his spot into the semifinals. And Artuzio sticking with LA here. So didn't see a problem with the teams. He's going to stick with what he had. Once again, temppanen using the Vegas Golden Knights. It was a nice turnover created there by temppanen. A fun little fact also, I believe Artuzio was using the Rangers throughout the spring tournament, at least at one point. And I mean, going from the Rangers to the Kings, just 2 teams that those just aren't like the consensus best teams in the game at all. So maybe he just tries to mix things up a little bit as well, where his opponents aren't used to the teams he's playing with either. So maybe that's the thought process behind these interesting team choices.
Yeah, it's a good point. He actually did use the Rangers in all 3 games. Him and Nick Dangles played in the spring semifinals. Remember how thrilling of a series that was. Nick ended up getting the better of that series, but nevertheless, the big thing, just the unorthodoxness of Artuzio's team choices. I honestly respect it. I think it's refreshing to kind of see guys switch up and use different teams outside of just the meta of Colorado and Vegas. And Artuzio, he did play bad in that last game. We saw some guys step up for him, like Fiala, Byfield, Kempe. Multiple players for him were able to step in and do some good things. It was just that quick start that temppanen got off to really put Artuzio in a hole that he couldn't climb his way out of. It's a shot on a rebound, they score! Barbashev put it in. It was kind of a think of nothing shot. There wasn't really a lot of passing options. temppanen puts it on net. Barbashev, right place, right time, wide open net. And once again, just like in game 1, temppanen starts out with the early lead.
Yeah, not what you want if you're Artuzio. After that first game, you were playing from behind the entire match, and now you're gonna have to repeat that all over again. But yeah, I would 100% agree with you on the fact that it is refreshing to see a team like the LA Kings. And to be honest with you, I guess because the teams is not gonna be a disallowed goal here for temppanen as he tries to push it in from the side of the net. I think there might be a goal interference. And yeah, that looks like a goal interference to me, so that won't be counting. But what I was saying is that the teams are only marginally different in the end. The players are all NHL players are roughly rated in the same ranges. So the difference between two teams is not that massive in the end. And if you're able to really get used to a team like LA, that could be an advantage in the end if you're just able to catch your opponents off guard when they just aren't even familiar with who you're putting on the ice, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see how this goes with, you know, Temppanen having this 1-0 lead. We saw Artuzio climb his way back a little bit in that last game from 3 goals down. So still a lot to happen here as we enter the later stages of this first period. Artuzio currently in control. Nice save there from Temppanen. Artuzio still in possession. Shot on, he scores! Kevin Fiala from the slot ties this thing up at 1. I was just going to say how well Temppanen was playing that possession defensively, but Artuzio patient. It pays off the grand chance of the score.
Yeah, after that Temppanen's disallowed goal, which was almost looking like it was going to go up by 2, but no, it's going to be Artuzio tying this game up, and again, the goal going this way instead of the other way, a huge difference. Now it's a tied game when it was looking like it was almost going to be 2-0 for Temppanen, and that shot is going to be saved by Talbot.
Temppanen now trying to find something on the opposite end. Just 40 seconds left. This is a fast minute here in this last minute. It's a shot on. I believe it may have been blocked in front. Talbot was sprawling, however. Shot on, blocked in front again. Now it's from the point. Another chance here for Temppanen. Pops across, shot in the save. 3 seconds to go. Artuzio just going to hold it, but a nice pushback there from Temppanen in the late stages of that first period. A couple of good chances. None finding the back of the net. Although you saw the stats there for just a glimpse. 7 shots to 2 in favor of Temppanen. So, you know, again, the 1-1 score for Artuzio, great for him, but Temppanen really controlling this game, it feels like.
Yeah, Temppanen has been creating the majority of the scoring chances in this game, and he even got that goal disallowed, which, I mean, if you're Temppanen here, you gotta be happy with the way the game has gone, but the score is at 1-1. You just haven't been able to put those pucks into the net yet, and here it comes. He shoots the rebound, and Theodore is there to tap it in for the second rebound goal of the game.
Just 29 seconds in, they're going to say that was an own goal there on Cam Talbot, but again, you know, sometimes we haven't talked about this really yet today. That's why you love to shoot that puck sometimes. You just never know that type of bounce that you're going to get. We saw Temppanen's first goal was off of a rebound from an original shot on net, so it feels like Temppanen really prioritizing just trying to get a volume of opportunities while Artuzio looking for that high danger chance. So a bit of a different offensive strategy, and for Temppanen, it's really worked out, it feels like, in his favor so far.
Yeah, Temppanen is he has a very wide range of ways he scores, so it is just very hard to stop all the threats at once, and that is probably something that Temppanen is at least top 3 in Europe, in my opinion, where he just has all the options. A lot of players just don't really even ever have the thought of shooting for a rebound almost, and he's just one that is able to play according to what the situation is and what the game gives him.
Yeah, and you know, I know you play competitively as well, so you know, I kind of love to get your thoughts on this, but sometimes it feels like you're so used to trying to score in the same ways from what the game kind of plays towards, to where you just kind of forget about putting that shot on net, the back to the basics that you maybe consider. And it feels like Temppanen, as you mentioned, the variance of how he scores, he can really put the puck in the net in 5, 6, 7 different ways. He's one of the few that I really ever see try to just put that shot on net, go for tips, go for rebounds. He's not afraid to do it, but he's not reliant on it either. And it just feels like a lot of times players are so used to scoring in those same kind of meta opportunities that a lot of players forget about that. Temppanen, he's willing to put that puck on net and see what happens.
Yeah, it's very respectable in my opinion. As Temppanen scores again, he's able to create a partial 2-on-1 there and feeds that across with Eichel, and Shea Theodore gets his second goal of the game, puts Temppanen up by 2 goals here midway through the second period. But yeah, as you mentioned, it is very nice watching someone play that actually does have a lot of options for ways to score. It's kind of like a dilemma, in my opinion, where some people just get stuck trying the same things over and over, and to a certain extent that actually is rewarded in this game, where you just go for the similar plays all the time, because it is a lot easier to play like that. It takes a lot more just mental focus to be able to read the play and see what's available to you. So I feel like it's a little bit of a shortcut to just go for the same plays, but it is still effective because you're able to just get really good at those few ways to score. And I mean, at the top level you have to have both of those traits, but Temppanen feels like one that has the creativity and the most variance in the way he scores goals.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it feels like through a lot of these games has been the player that's had the most variety in their scoring chances that have been able to succeed and win. So far, it's Temppanen up 3-1, but check that, make it 3-2. Artuzio comes down on the other end, scores on the cross crease. Arthur Kaliev puts it in for him, and he cuts that lead in half to 1.
Nice little stretch pass up to the player that is cutting towards the net, and then he's able to find that backdoor pass as Kaliev brings him back within 1 in this game, keeping his dreams alive of finding himself in tomorrow's broadcast.
We will have that broadcast right here tomorrow at twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG. You can also find the live stream on our X account at SportsGamerGG or at SportsGamerGG on YouTube. As the winner of this matchup will be matching up against Eken, while the winner between Nicky Dangles and Sisu will go up against Eki. So regardless of who wins these two series here today, it's going to promise to be a great matchup here for tomorrow. But that's what's so good about this Grand Finals tournament. You know you're going to get those top 8 players that earn their way in. It really guarantees matchups throughout the playoffs that are finals-worthy matchups, and you see why they're a bit of a break for Artuzio on the bounce. But hey, Temppanen got the same thing earlier, and this one ties things up at 3 apiece.
Yeah, that one's... I'm not really even certain what Artuzio was seeing on that play. It seemed like that pass didn't really have an address to go to, but that pass just hits off the post, I believe, and is deflected into the net off the goalie's skate, and Fortunatus Pounds gives Artuzio the game-tying goal.
Yeah, and almost another right there. Artuzio just not able to get his stick on that puck. He's yet to lead so far in this series. They've been tied a couple of times, but so far Artuzio is yet to be in front. Get that change here. Tried to move it up with a nice defensive play made by Temppanen. Slows things down for a line change. Finds Mark Stone. Lost it immediately. Good defense by Artuzio, but Temppanen replies with a defensive play of his own. Pass it behind the net. Trying to skate his way in front. No space for him. Moves it now. Trying to get that shot across. We've seen that play a few times throughout our series, but a better play from Artuzio to stop it. Knew it was coming. Temppanen still in possession here. Moves it to Stone. 5 seconds left. Holds it. Tried to get it across the slot, but could not do so cleanly. And that will end the second period. Artuzio coming back from 2 goals down, from 3-1 to 3-3, heading into this third period. He needs to win this game to push it to a game 3. Otherwise, Temppanen will punch his ticket into the semifinals tomorrow night.
You see the stats there with the shot totals?
Yeah, and you know, again, it feels like those shot totals, we've been kind of talking about that a little bit, and you know, Temppanen so far, he's gotten that advantage there. He has really been putting that puck on net, and you have a guy that's putting the puck on net, you typically can get rewarded, but if you're Artuzio, you're 3 for 4, so you're efficient.
Right. It seems like anything he's throwing on net is going in. He doesn't really miss, it seems. But I mean, aside from that third goal, which was just a fortunate bounce, here he comes, he gets that rebound, and Adrian Kempe with his second goal of the game he tied it up with that bouncy goal, and now he's there for the rebound, and he gets Artuzio up in the third period of this game too.
Artuzio has 4 goals on 6 shots on net now, and by the way, the passing percentage, 60% for Artuzio, 87% for temppanen. So, I mean, you know, with all due respect to Artuzio, I don't think many people would question temppanen has played better so far in this game, but yet he finds himself down by 1. And this is where the mental challenges in these playoffs really do come into play. And temppanen, again, a former champion, he knows how to deal with these situations, but this is where the mental aspect of the game really can test you, and it separates the good from the great.
Right, but I do have to say that there it is again. Artuzio scores once again. He's up by 2 in this game, even though he does not have the advantage in the stat categories. But Artuzio is just one of those players that gives himself the chance to score on every shot. So you do have to give him the respect as well to put himself in positions where fortune's bounces just can happen to him, basically.
At the end of the day, you have to put yourself in the position to get that fortuitous bounce. So, you know, obviously the bounce, it is the bounce, but you have to be at the right place at the right time to have that situation go your way. Artuzio has done that so far. He has 4 unanswered goals. He trailed 3-1 in the second period. He has been on a tear ever since. Here's another chance, pass across, defended well there by temppanen. Now for temppanen, feels like you have to get something quick. He has a chance here, 2-on-1, shot up, and he scores! Chandler Stevenson breaks the spell, and it cuts that lead down to 1.
Temppanen, again, he was able to score this exact goal in that game 1, cutting to the front of the net from the side like that. He's able to freeze the goalie, tucks it 5-hole. I'll take at least 5% credit for that goal, because I feel like I was one of the ones to come up with that play, and temppanen using that skill to get himself back within 1 in this one.
Soaply, you talked about something earlier, and I think it goes to show on that play especially the variance in how temppanen scores. He had a 2-on-1, he's passed that puck a couple of times. This time he decides to put it on net for that 5-hole play, and it leads to the goal. So it just goes to show you, as you said earlier, when you're playing temppanen, there's so many plays that you have to look out for. It's just so tough to defend it all at once, and in some situations like that, you just can't defend it all at once. You know he's going to get a chance regardless.
Yeah, that is exactly what temppanen is really good at. He's one of the best in the world at creating multiple threats at once, and I mean, a 2-on-1 or a similar situation, he's just got enough options to overpower you, and you might feel pretty helpless playing in that situation, because if you were to just try to attack the puck in that scenario, then the pass would be open. So there's just no way to defend all of those situations if you let him into a 2-on-1.
We have an update in our other series. Sisu and Nikodangles got started up, and Sisu strikes first. First goal of the game with 9 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the first period. So Sisu, with his back against the wall, needing the win to extend the series to 3, strikes first. A 1-0 Sisu lead halfway through the first period. Trying to do what Artuzio is 8 minutes shy of doing, up by 1, trying to push this series to 3 games.
We might see,
and Artuzio controls it.
We might see 2 game 3s if these scores hold, but both of them are still 1-goal games, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, because temppanen is looking for trouble here. He wasn't able to get the shot off.
Remember, in game 1, temppanen scored 3 of his goals in about a 6-minute span, so you know, he's a guy that we've seen, he can score in bunches in a hurry. He's down by 1, but this could easily turn to a tie game or potentially a temppanen lead in the snap of a finger. Not a lot of time for him to do so, though, just 4.5 minutes remaining. He has the puck now with Stevenson. Got him that goal to cut it to 1, but he turns it over behind the net. Now Artuzio goes on the other end. For Artuzio, I think right now the priority has to be don't turn the puck over and just try to control the possession game. Across to Kopitar from Arvidsson, couldn't connect on it, but Kopitar gets it behind the net. Lost it, however, and here comes temppanen on the other end. 2:50 remaining. Artuzio gets it, forcing a turnover, tried to shoot it, got the shot late, his side of the net. Can't be behind the net, shot across, and he gets the save. temppanen, big play there from Hill. In between the bites. Shot from Kopitar, saved again by Hill. Oh, and Temppanen going to throw that one out. Aggressive move here with just a little bit over a minute remaining. Temppanen stuck at the blue line, gets past the defense finally. Moves it up to the point. To Hannafin, skates in. Temppanen looking for a chance behind the net. 51 seconds remaining, trying to work his way to the slot, but nothing there. And here comes Artuzio on the other end. Lots of space. 2-on-2. Artuzio stops, just dumps this down the other end. Smart play, prioritizing the possession. Moves behind the net. 39 seconds remaining now. Just controlling that puck, killing the time of Temppanen's comeback hopes. Puck loose, picked up by Fiala. 30 seconds remain. Artuzio just controlling the possession, trying to push this to a third and decisive game. Can he do so? He's 22 seconds away. Temppanen can't get the puck off him, and he finally does. He has Roy with it. 17 seconds left. Last chance here for Temppanen to tie this one up. Can he do so? Lost the puck at the blue line. Artuzio back in his own end. Gives it to Anderson. Just controlling that puck. Temppanen has to create a turnover. He's not able to do so. 3 seconds. 2, 1. And folks, for the first time today, we're going to a game 3. Artuzio from 3-1 down to a 5-4 victory. He gets the win to tie this series up. And we're going to have a decisive game with a semifinal spot on the line here today.
A great game. Artuzio was able to capitalize on a lot of chances, even though Temppanen, on paper, he was a little bit better in that matchup, but Artuzio just able to create the chances for himself to score and seemed to be very effective at scoring, and he did still keep his offense going even after getting that lead, and could have extended the lead to 2 there. With about 5 minutes remaining, he had a couple of great chances, but wasn't able to put it in. As here we see Sisu is up by 3 at the start of the second period. Kind of a different story than game 1 in this series.
Speaking of trying to push things to a game 3, Sisu looking to do the same thing, up 3-0 here early in the second period. So a lot of time for Nicky Dangles. He already saw the large comeback as possible as Sisu made the comeback earlier, down by 4. 3 goals for Nicky Dangles. That is not even close to out of the realm of possibility. Again, we saw him score 4 goals in the first period alone in the last game. So, you know, Sisu has to be aware of that. He said that the offense was going to be important. You feel like now he's going to have to prioritize defense here in this.
Yeah, but again, this might become a very similar situation, just in reverse of what we saw in that last game, where Nick didn't get super passive, to be honest, and maybe Sisu also tries to just keep the offense going, and that might lead to Nick getting more chances, and we might see a similar situation where a comeback is possible if Nick is just able to score from his chances.
Yeah, you see Sisu doing a good job there on the penalty kill after having a man go into the box. Nicky Dangles not able to get a shot on as he moves it in past the blue line. Has numbers of 3-on-2. Granted, a shot on goes wide. It's blocked in front. Back to 5-on-5 here as Nicky Dangles controls it in the offensive end. Tries to give it up to Walker at the point, but it's intercepted by Casey Middlestat for Sisu. Nicky Dangles gets it back, however, in the neutral zone, and Nicky Dangles trying to find his way back into this one. Not used to being in this situation down 3-0, but gives Sisu a lot of credit. He knew what was on the line, knew that this was a must-win, and he has stepped up so far. A chance again, shot on, and he scores on the partial breakaway. Nicky Dangles trying to control the goalie and get that flying poke check. Snuffed out well by Sisu, and Sopley, I swear we've been here before. A 4-0 lead here in the second period.
I think I've seen this movie somewhere. 4-0, just the other way around. We saw Nicky Dangles with the 4-0 lead in the first period of that game 1. Now, Sisu only has 32 more minutes to kill in this game with a 4-goal lead. There is enough time when you're talking about Nicky Dangles and a 4-goal deficit, but it is closer for Sisu right now than it was in that first period for Nicky Dangles.
Ever since Nicky Dangles held that 4-1 or that 4-0 lead, Sisu has outscored him 9-3. So it goes to show you that Sisu, he's adjusted some things in a major way that have benefited him. And you wonder here, if you're Nicky Dangles, how much do you kind of alter your strategy here a little bit? Because it feels like Sisu has done so, and Sisu has gotten more chances and he's been able to score a bit more than Nicky Dangles ever since that hot start early in the series.
Yeah, right. After that first period, it's been all Sisu throughout the whole series, basically, except, okay, we let's not get ahead of ourselves. Nick scores one. I feel like we've seen this movie before.
We have a 4-0 comeback earlier by Sisu, and it all started with a quick goal like that when Nicky gets the goal, cuts it to a 4-1 game. But Sisu right back on the other end. Big poke check there by the goaltender. Here comes Nicky on the other end. Gives it the middle stat. Goes through the middle. Stops, holds, trying to work it. Beautiful move. Goes behind the net. Nicky looking for an option to pass or shoot. Beautiful control, though. Nicky, one of the most mechanically skilled players that I think you'll find in Europe, arguably in the world. Just the way he is able to control his player, contort him in different ways to create space and evade defenders is so impressive to watch. Saw a little bit of that right there on that possession. Didn't lead to anything, but just kind of shows you some of that skill that he has.
Yeah, the little details when just moving around with the player, that is something that he's one of the best, if not the best at, as he said, and it is just nice to watch whenever he has the puck on his stick, the way he's able to move with the players.
Gerard with a backhand shot, save made there. Dangle starting to take control of this game a little bit in terms of the possession and the opportunity. Sisu would probably love to get a couple of chances of his own here as he's in the offensive zone. Behind the net, puck battle won by Nicky Dangles. 3.5 to play here in period 2. Nicky Dangles cut the lead down to 3, but still a little bit of work to do if he wants to march his way on the comeback trail. Right, to pass it across to Nicky Dangles from the left boards, but nobody home as that puck goes all the way back on the other end, and Nicky Dangles will take control of it. Gives up to middle stat, left boards. Down to Makar. To Rantanen, back to Makar. Nicky Dangles, nice move there. Could have maybe had the shot on, but couldn't get it off in time. Shot from middle stat at the slot, save made. Nicky Dangles still pushing. Another shot, save made again by Oninen. And a freeze there from Sisu. 55.9 seconds remaining. Nicky Dangles, you can tell, he's starting to feel his game, but he's going to have to break open the scoreboard a little bit further if he really wants to make this comeback happen.
Yeah, he got a couple of shots on goal, but just not enough sideways motion for the goalie to open up that short side where he's trying to hit that shot with the left-handed player from the middle, or he's trying to look for the rebound there. That one's not gonna go, and he's gonna go down 3 into the third period, but he did get a couple of decent shots on goal. He was just not able to make the goalie move enough to bury those ones.
That was a big play there from Sisu defensively. I'm not certain if it was him or if it was one of his computer-controlled players, but there was someone there for that rebound, but they blocked him out of the positioning to be able to get his stick on that puck. So that could have been another goal for Nicky Dangles right at the end of the period. But Sisu, 27 seconds into the third, extends his lead back to 4. That is a massive goal right there.
That is a massive goal indeed. Just cuts the momentum of Nicky Dangles completely in its tracks. As Nicky was starting to feel his game a little bit there towards the end of the second period, but Sisu was able to keep Nicky at 1, and then just a huge goal to start the period. And this looks like a situation not even Nicky could come back from, except he scores one, back within 3. It's still a long way to go.
And I mean, I know you were saying it. You know, you were saying it looks like a situation maybe Nicky couldn't come back from, even as good as he is. But again, we saw him score 4 goals in the period. Game number 1 to even get that big lead. But here comes Sisu on the other end. Shot from Makar, saved by Oninen, and a penalty shot upcoming for Sisu. A rare penalty shot. This could be huge. So Nicky, a very good offensive and defensive player, he's gonna have to try to show off the goaltending skills here as it's Cale Makar here on the PS. Makar and Oninen. Sisu moves his way up, forehand shot, saved by Nicky Dangles! Nicky Dangles, more like Nicky saves. A huge play.
A huge glove save. He was just able to be in position for that save, and the shot is not gonna beat him. Possibly Sisu was looking that maybe Nick is gonna go for the diving poke check, but not that time. He just stays right in front of it, and Annunen is able to glove that.
As Nikke has control of it right now, and if he comes back, that might be the play that you circle as the one that changed this game. A little bit over 14 and a half minutes to go. Nikke, we're gonna let this dog shot, and he scores! He cuts the lead 2!
Nah, he's not coming back, right? There's no way, right?
We've seen it before, man. We've had a crazy broadcast here today. I mean, I gotta be honest, man. A second 4-goal comeback, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. It's not.
Yeah, he's already got 2.
Pass across. Oh, puck was in the red line, and Nikke Dangles is on it and just able to lay back and stop that from going in. It took a weird bounce off of the back post.
So close for Sisu to retain that 3-goal lead, and there's still 13 minutes to go, and I mean, it is a 2-goal game. It is surprisingly close now. If Nikke is just able to keep Sisu off the scoreboard, I mean, 2 goals, it is not unimaginable.
Remember, we've already seen a couple of comebacks. Sisu was down 4-0 against Nikke earlier, came back in that game to tie it 4-4. Nikke got the victory in that, but still the comeback not minimized by that end result. And then we saw Artuzio just now with his tournament on the line, down 3-1 halfway through. Comeback, score 4 unanswered, and won that game 5-4. And here comes Nikke right now on the offensive end. Controls it behind the net. Collapsing in front right now is Sisu. He does not want Nikke Dangles to get that pass in front. Decides to go up to the point to spread him out a little bit. Pass was awry there, intended for Landeskog, and here comes Sisu on the counterattack now. Lost it. Here comes Nikke now on the other end. Controlling with McKinnon, bumped off that puck. Great defensive play there made by Sisu. 9.5 to play here in period 3, a 5-3 score. Nikke Dangles was down by 4, but he's cut that lead in half now to 2. He moves it up the offensive end. Tries to pass it across, but a pick off there by Sisu. Poke checked, however. Nice defensive play for Nikke Dangles. And he ends up getting after Sisu played it out. Nikke Dangles trying to win that puck battle, but Sisu gets to it first and clears it out. Makar up past the blue line. Beautiful move. Pass across. Nice defensive play there made by Nikke Dangles to block that passing lane. Here he comes now, trying the counterattack.
A beautiful crouch block there. Just no Sisu is passing it, and he's able to get in the way.
Time starting to run thin now, however, for Nikke Dangles. Just 6 minutes remaining. Still trails by 2. Shot on save by Annunen. Nikke Dangles plays that out immediately, wasting no time. Knows he has to get aggressive here if he wants to come back in this game. Pass across. Shot, and he scores! Colton gets it in for Sisu. His lead back up to 3. And could that be the goal that forces a game 3 between these two?
It looks like a game 3, but I mean, crazier things have happened here, but it does, at its current state, it does look like this series is going to go into 3 games as Nikke almost gets it back within 2, but doesn't, and that's gonna be called a slashing penalty. And I'm not sure about you, but I can't really see how Nikke would be coming back from this situation anymore.
Yeah, and you see the goal allowed after the delayed penalty. Sisu back up by 4. I think you're starting to see a little bit of the frustration there from Nikke, the diving around after the penalty, and looked like he was going to pause there, but didn't have his 1 pause remaining. So Sisu, as you mentioned, I think it's pretty safe to say well on his way to pushing this to a game 3. And, you know, for Nikke, a tough result. Didn't play poorly, as you see. A good goal there. You know, maybe we've seen crazy things happen today. This would top it, but 2-11, 3 goals. I mean, if anyone can do it, it's Nikke. He can do it if anyone can.
It is so little time left on the clock, though there is that last real-time minute of the game time, which does allow for crazy things to happen, but I think Sisu is just gonna play it smart here as he has the puck in the offensive zone.
He'll need a goal every 15 seconds here. Just 45 seconds remaining. Shot on from Sisu, save made. As here comes Nikke Dangles. He knows he has to go, and he has to go quick if he wants any chance here. Stops, Gives it across, back to McKinnon. Shot on save made by Oninen. Passed it out, another save made on the shot from Girard. Just 32 seconds left, and yeah, I think now at this point, this one pretty much all mathematical.
Yeah, 30 seconds, 3 goals. That is so unlikely that we can pretty much assume that this game or this series has gone into the third game.
So we're gonna get 2 game 3s here. Artuzio and Temppanen, Sisu and Nicky Dangles. Just 20 seconds remaining in this one. As a penalty there taken by Nicky as well. As you see the power play numbers for Sisu as well, 2 for 2 on the power play. That's not even including the goal that he got on the delayed penalty just now. So feels like Sisu is really taking advantage of some of the mistakes from Nicky Dangles. And, you know, as I was saying there before this game got so crazy, it's not like Nicky played poorly in this game. The hot start from Sisu really gave him that extra advantage. And, you know, I guess it's easy to be spoiled. We've seen a 3-goal comeback. We've seen a 4-goal comeback. It's so tough, though, to make that happen, especially when, once again, you were playing against a fellow top player in the continent. You know, Nicky, a great effort, but Sisu just able to hold on to that lead. It felt like whenever Nicky had that chance to make that comeback happen, Sisu was able to come back on the other end a little bit later and get that goal back.
Yeah. Even though we see these comebacks, we've seen multiple of them. We saw a couple of insane comebacks happen in the spring season of this tournament as well, and you do gotta remember, if you're down by multiple goals, it is almost impossible to come back from those situations. And I mean, what we've seen has already been crazy, and I mean, you just gotta think, sometimes it's not gonna happen. Like a comeback it's just very unlikely to come back from down 4 in this sort of tournament games.
Yeah, as I was just checking to kind of see here throughout our bracket, and, you know, it's so crazy. We had 2 sweeps earlier, but they were close. We have 2 series now going to game 3, and though they were close, all of them were high scoring. I just wanted to check and see to make sure. Every single game, once again, has still had a minimum of 5 goals. So we have not just had close games, we've had high-scoring games, we've had comebacks. No game has ended by more than a 2 or 3 goal deficit until that win from Sisu, that 7-4 win. Every game before that was decided by 2 goals or less. So this has been a quarterfinals that has seen a little bit of everything, and now we're going to get 2 elimination games back-to-back against 4 of the top players in all of Europe, each of them former champions, and we're gonna have it here in just a few moments. We're gonna take a short break here, get things set up. Do not go away, my friends. You're not gonna want to miss this. Grab a drink, grab a snack, do it right now. Invite a few friends over to the stream, because I'm sure they'd appreciate it too. We've got some of the best talking that you can find right here at twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG. We'll be right back in just a few moments for game number 3 of our final 2 quarterfinal series of the day.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. lakukastike maistuu parhaalta. Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Wasted as a quick goal in favor of Temppanen. Game number 3 has started, and Temppanen, not even 3 minutes in, 2 minutes and 2 seconds, he finds the first goal of the game as he is controlling the Vegas Golden Knights once again. Artuzio controlling the LA Kings. We look at the perspective of Artuzio, and Temppanen, for the third straight game of this series, opens up the scoring.
Yeah, these guys need to chill at the start of games. We can't even keep up with this. Every game it seems like there's a goal scored right at the start, and there's Artuzio already trying to tie it up. But yeah, again, Temppanen strikes first early in the first period.
I would love to know the total goal count of the first 5 minutes of the game. I mean, just really off of my mind, I can remember at least 4 or 5 between each of our games. I know Eki had 2 or 3 in game 1. He had 1 or 2 in game 2. Temppanen with a couple of goals here. I mean, these guys are starting it off hot and heavy as Temppanen maybe still not done, cycling this puck around in the offensive zone. Controls it with Marchessault. Bumped behind the net and lost it. And for Artuzio, he came in very motivated. We heard him say it during the interview that it feels like it's been too long since he's won a championship. It's been 3 years since he last held that trophy, that championship-winning title, and you know that extra motivation is going to be there for him. Obviously, Temppanen, the 2023 Finnish champion. For Artuzio, he wants to prove that he's still the guy to beat here in the 1v1 scene in Europe. You know, he sees all these guys in front of him winning titles. He wants to be back in that conversation. A win here helps push him towards that, with the semifinals being tomorrow and then potentially the finals after that.
Yeah, 100%. It is something that for sure Artuzio is the type of guy that just does not want to be out of tournaments for an extended period of time, or let's say out of the winning places in the tournaments. As he said in the interview, as he breaks up that pass from Temppanen really well there, he said in the interview that he's had a lot of those, you know, top 8, top 4 finishes in tournaments, but he hasn't been able to win in quite some while, so he's definitely hungry for that tournament win.
You know, hungry Artuzio is a dangerous thing for anyone that has to match up against him. Temppanen, he's seen that so far. He was up 1-0 in this series, but Artuzio coming back in game 2 to take that one 4-5. As now here comes Artuzio on the other end, down by 1 here in this game. I'm gonna have to go in the first period. Sisu and Nicky Dangles will probably be getting started here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. And once that game does get started, when we get goal updates, if we do have any, we will make sure to give them right to you. But our attention right now towards this matchup between Temppanen and Artuzio, as Temppanen nearly a second goal. Outstretched save made by Cam Talbot. Another shot, this one goes wide. Shot on, scores! Temppanen puts it in! Shane Theodore! He got the first goal, I believe, as well. So the defender back there making some moves. Temppanen up by 2 here in this win, or go home game number 3.
I believe Theodore is actually played as a winger for Temppanen. He scored, I believe, at least 4 goals throughout the series already. He's using him as a right wing, which is an interesting choice. A guy that is a little bit of a bigger body, and well, he does have the skating stats and the offensive stats to play as a winger, but in my books, he is a guy that I would be using as a defenseman. I mean, he is a defenseman in real life, so that is an interesting choice for sure.
It's worked out for him so far. As another chance there for Temppanen. Up the way there by Cam Talbot as Artuzio down by 2, just 20 seconds remaining. Gonna have to try to get something going here. He circles it down low, puck loose, picked up by Kempe, but couldn't control it as Temppanen takes possession and will kill off the rest of the time. That will do it for the first period. Temppanen with a goal just 2 minutes into this one, and then a goal late in the first period to double his lead. The exact start that he was hoping for, and again, Temppanen controlling the stats. I don't know if you saw it there. It went away quickly there, but 4 shots to 8 in favor of Temppanen. 2 minutes of time on attack in favor of 5, compared to 5 in favor of Temppanen. So he's really controlling the game, it feels like, and that's been the theme so far throughout this series.
Yeah, it seemed that every single first period, Temppanen has just started it very strongly. Let's see if Artuzio is able to again do what he has done in the 2 past games, where he has been able to strike back in the second period and even come back in that second game to push this into the third game in general.
Chance in front, possible rebound, just didn't go. Seen Temppanen scoring that a couple of times in this series, but Artuzio now on the other end looking to counter. Controlling with Kempe, puck loose in front, shot on! Believe that may have been gloved away, couldn't totally tell. It sounded like it hit off a stick or a glove, but nevertheless, still a 2-0 lead here for Temppanen as Artuzio controls in his own end, asks for a line change and moves it up to Drew Doughty up the left wing. Doughty tried to pass it across, but could not hit Deneau in stride. Loose now in the neutral zone, race 1 after a chop by Artuzio. Temppanen ends up picking it up. Hurdle. Bumped off of that one. Giving it to Mark Stone. Temppanen in the offensive end, trying to find that third goal that could really break this thing open. Behind the net, Temppanen looking. Defended well by Artuzio, creates a turnover, and here he comes now on the offensive side. Controlling Kevin Fiala right now over at the left point. Skates in, gives it back to Roy at the right side. Holding, shot and goes wide. A lot of open net there for Artuzio, but he just couldn't put it in. And that's one that you feel like he would love to have back. Just went wide, had a lot of space there to put that in. Puck loose in the neutral zone, Temppanen gets to it first. Roy on Roy, getting past him, moving past Gavrikov, shot on nearly, but he was tripped before he could pull the trigger. That's going to lead to a power play for Temppanen, but that's probably the best penalty Artuzio could have taken. Looked like that was going to be a near goal, that shot right in front past Cam Talbot.
Yeah, a similar situation as in the second goal. Artuzio also tripped Temppanen while Temppanen was cutting to the middle and trying to go for the shot, but that time Temppanen was just able to shoot the puck off the diving animation as he was getting tripped, but that time Artuzio is able to stop the player in his tracks.
Artuzio in the offensive zone, controlling Lazat. Puck loose now, battled for, won by Temppanen. As Haig takes it for Temppanen, trying to break this in, he does to Eichel. Moves it in, pass back to Theodore, has both of Temppanen's goals so far here in this game. There's a pass across, shot on, save made by Talbot, as Artuzio going to play this out. Very risky play. Temppanen did get that puck, but not able to do anything with it as Artuzio moves it up. We're back to 5-on-5, so the power play to no avail for Temppanen despite a couple of chances. Artuzio just dumps that in and will switch lines. Temppanen going to do the same here, it looks like. Slowly creeping his way up to the blue line and gets past it with Stevenson. Up to Carlson, up middle, shot on, pass, and rebound! Couldn't pull the trigger! Could have been 3-0 right there on his stick, but he just couldn't get that shot off. Here comes Artuzio on the other end. Kempe controls it, but checked away. Moves in the neutral zone, found by Temppanen. Moves in, Temppanen shot on! Poke check before he could get it off. Temppanen's had some chances with some open net, but Artuzio, just that last-ditch effort defensively, making the difference for him to stop those plays. He controls it now on the offensive end, with Byfield behind the net. Nothing there for him. Puck loose in front, picked up by Temppanen, and he gets it out into the neutral zone to Roy. Has puck given chase after it was lost, and it's found by Artuzio. In the neutral zone, picked off by Marchessault. Here comes Temppanen now. 3.5 to play in period 2. Temppanen just holding on to his 2-0 lead. Artuzio trying to mark another comeback. He was down by 2 in game number 2 as well. Came back to win 5-4. Temppanen controlling this right now. Feels like the game has slowed down just a tad here, Stopoli, as now you're kind of in that situation where the next goal feels like it could dictate the way this game goes. A 3-0 lead or a 2-1 lead for Temppanen. And where this goes is that's going to be a 3-0 lead. The puck bounces in for Brett Howden. And Temppanen, right as we say it, An own goal, it looks like, hit off of Kaliev in front. And now Artuzio in a world of trouble, and Temppanen has to feel good getting that goal late to enter the third period.
Yeah, the game was looking like it was getting slowed down by both parties, to be honest. There was not a whole lot of things happening, and I mean, so far this could be on path to be the lowest scoring game we've seen all day, except Kopitar, right before the period ends, scores the fourth goal of the game, brings Artuzio back within 2, and we're 1 goal away from that 5-goal mark, which we've seen in every single match so far.
Well, Artuzio doing his efforts to contribute to that as a big goal to cut the lead back to 2, and now it does feel like things change a little bit. I think you might be a little bit more downtrodden if you are down by 3 with just a period to go, but 2 goals, mentally, I think that just feels a lot more doable.
Yeah, 100%. And that shot was actually his only shot on goal in that entire second period, which is, well, it just tells you how slow of a period that was.
Temppanen currently controlling it in the offensive zone, and it feels like the game really has slowed down until those 2 goals to end the period. And, you know, give a lot of credit to both Temppanen and Artuzio. As much attention as they get offensively, they're both elite level players defensively as well. We've seen that so far in this one, but things starting to open up a little bit here. Temppanen has an offensive zone face-off coming up. He wins it on the stick, lift to the point. Stone controls it for him. Big hit there, but it's picked up by Carlson. Temppanen moving in. Puck loose in front, trickles in, but it's going to be waved off. We'll see if it's a goalie interference or a kick-in, and we're not even going to get a replay of it. I'm not sure which it was, but nevertheless, Artuzio, I don't think he cares. It's not a goal, so he's fine with it.
I believe it's a goal interference in the instances where you can skip it immediately, so that one wasn't even reviewed probably because there was a goal interference on that play.
Good catch there, and Artuzio going to be thankful that one happened. This was a fortuitous bounce for Temppanen, but not going to count for anything. As a shot on the goal, Artuzio cuts the lead. A goal game now, 3-2 to score.
Philip Dano, one of the players you were talking about earlier, one of these sleeper guys that you just don't think of when picking a team. He clutches up, brings Artuzio back within 1 in this Game 3 third period.
And I feel like I've seen this movie before. Temppanen was up 3-1 in Game 2, surrendered that lead, lost, and Artuzio pushed it to this Game 3. Can Artuzio repeat that here as a shot on puck loose? Corralled by Hill, and Temppanen playing with fire a little bit, playing that out, but he does so cleanly this time around. In the offensive zone, but turned it over. Artuzio going to slow things down a little bit. More than halfway to go in this third period. Artuzio with the last goal to cut the lead to 1. Kempe shot on from the high slot. Don't check in front, but the Kopitar gets it back behind the net, pass across, nothing there. Nice play defensively there made by Temppanen to take away the lane. Here comes Temppanen now. Backhand shot, he scores mid-trip! And who else? Tomas Hertl puts it in. 4-2 lead now for Temppanen. A massive goal here to get back out in front by more than 1.
Yeah, a huge goal, and there, again, Artuzio, in that last moment, is able to trip Hertl, but still, Temppanen is able to get a shot off of that diving animation, and he just taps it in on the backhand, and as you said, who else but Tomas Hertl is the one to score.
4-2 your score, a little bit more than halfway to go through the third. Temppanen up ahead of Artuzio, and a penalty called against Artuzio, a tripping call against Drew Doughty. So Temppanen with a power play opportunity, and Sopley, you feel like if he scores on this, that could very well be the goal that pushes him through.
Yeah, at this point, it's a Game 3. We've seen a pretty slow game so far. I feel like Temppanen has intentionally kind of slowed down the pace where he's able to limit the chances Artuzio is getting. So another goal here would be absolutely huge, and I think Temppanen would be able to just hold on to that lead if he's able to get a 3-goal lead here.
1-1, what a kick save by Talbot, saving a goal, robbing him blind. That could have been that goal that we were talking about. Remember though, Artuzio scored shorthanded earlier in the series. I believe it was actually in game 2 to make it a 3-2 scoreline if I'm correct. So we've seen it before from him. As a pass across, shot on, saved again by Talbot. Temppanen still controlling it in the offensive end. Puck loose, found by Stevenson at the point. To Carlson, moves to the middle. Temppanen trying to find some space, but not able to do so. Back to 5-on-5 as a man comes out of the box for Artuzio. Less than 8 minutes to play. Artuzio trailing by 2, but in possession. Spin move from Byfield. Shot on, goes wide. Picked up by Temppanen. Now he counterattacks. Theodore to Hurdle, breakaway. Tomas Hurdle, save made by Talbot. And the goaltending for Artuzio keeping him in this one.
Yeah, huge save. Talbot keeps that dream alive. I think I used that line in the last game when Artuzio was down and there was some sort of a save made. And once again, the goalie is able to keep the light on, but not anymore. Jack Eichel on the post is able to bury one.
Temppanen with a 3rd goal in a row. Makes it a 5-2 score, 5:44 to play, and now for Artuzio, things not looking too good. Not a lot of time and a large comeback ahead of him if he wants to keep his hopes of the semifinals alive and well. He's controlling it right now with Gavrikov. No shot or pass available. Great defense from Temppanen. Nice job by Artuzio moving his way to some space. A good backhand shot, but a better save made by Hill. 3:40 to play. Temppanen in control, in offensive possession as well. Forehand backhand, and he scores! And if there was any doubt, Jack Eichel may have put it to rest.
Yeah, that has to ice the game here. The 4-goal lead late in the 3rd period. Temppanen is gonna walk away with the win unless something completely unimaginable happens here towards the end of the game. But a heck of a series. We've seen 3 games of just a lot of action offensively. Maybe this 3rd game was a little bit more controlled by Temppanen, but still a great series from both of these guys. As well, Artuzio makes it a 3-goal game, but I mean, it is a long way to climb here.
Yeah, we see Artuzio get the goal. Quinton Byfield with that shot from the slot. He's been one of the impact players for Artuzio today, but as you mentioned, a steep hill here for Artuzio to climb. Down by 2 still, a minute and a half left, real-time minute, or actually down by 3, excuse me. So a very steep hill for Artuzio to climb. It's going to take a couple really quick goals to have a real shot at this thing. He has it in his zone, but turns it over. Less than a minute to play, and just so you guys know, Sisu and Nicky Dangles, they were kind enough to wait on this game so we could show you guys that Game 3 in its totality. So we're going to have Game 3 between Nicky Dangles and Sisu right at the conclusion of this one. So we do want to thank Sisu and Nicky for being kind enough to wait. Obviously, both antsy and anxious to probably get that game underway, knowing what is on the line, that spot in the semifinals, but kind enough to wait so we could cover it here for you guys. So a big shout out to them for being willing to hold on for us. As Temppanen just 22 seconds away from punching his ticket. Couple of chances from Artuzio, none able to find the back of the net. As for Temppanen, we talked about him earlier, Sokoli, maybe one of the more underrated elite players that you'll find in the 1v1 scene. You talk about guys that are former champions, guys that are at the top echelon of the EU. Feels like Temppanen not always one of the first names that people come up with, but he deserves it. He's shown why he is one of those top guys. He knocks off Artuzio in the quarterfinals, a 2-1 series victory. As a congratulations to him, a hard-fought series, an entertaining series, as Temppanen showing his way, showing why he is one of the best in the world. He moves on to the semifinals, and he has a date with Eken coming up here, a rematch of the winter semifinals. Temppanen was able to knock off Eken in 2 games in that winter semi, so a little bit of possible revenge on tap for Eken is he'll now look forward to seeing Temppanen. I'm sure he was watching those games closely, but just kind of putting a bit of a wrap in the bow on that series. Simply very tightly contested series. Temppanen, I think, a little bit better than Artuzio in those games, but Artuzio, again, someone that just always keeps himself in it. He did so multiple times, but at the end of the day, Temppanen just that little bit better to move his way into the next round.
Yeah, Temppanen played a very solid series all around. Like, you can't really say that he blew a lead in the second game either. It was just Artuzio just made those possibilities of some bounces to go his way, and in that one they did. He did have his chances in games 1 and 3 as well, but overall Temppanen just a very controlled, especially in that third game, was able to just hold on to his lead and get a convincing win over Artuzio.
Absolutely. So we have 3 of our 4 semifinalists set. Eki, Eken, and Temppanen. Interestingly enough, all 3 of those players were in the winter season. So we just covered the spring season semifinals and finals a few weeks ago. The spring representatives are now 0-3. So the hopes for the last couple of weeks tournament, it all relies on Nicky Dangles and Sisu looking to crush those hopes. He gets a goal early, and I'm so stunned. A goal a minute and a half into the game. It feels like we've seen this so many times. Sisu takes the early lead.
Right, and if Sisu is able to win this game, we're gonna have a crazy storyline of having the exact same matchups as in that winter finals tournament. And I mean, these players that already punched their tickets to the top 4 stage, I mean, they've just shown time and time again they were able to win that first tournament and get their spots in these grand finals, and they're continuing from where they left off in that winter season.
That was one of the storylines that we were interested to see. How would some of those winter players come into this tournament today, looking as it's been a while for a lot of them since they've played competitively. Obviously, that long break between the last season and this season. But really, these ECL tournaments, the only 1v1 that has been going on at that high competitive level since GWC ended for a lot of these guys. So it just kind of goes to show you there's been a long layoff, but it seems like a lot of the guys in the spring took a bit of a break as well after that tournament. You can maybe say whether that makes a difference or not. That's all up to your own personal opinion, but it feels like for the guys that played in the winter season, they have picked up right where they left off, 3 of them being in the semifinals, and now the only spring representative, Nicky Dangles, and he's down 1-0. He has possession right now at his own end. Almost saw that one trickle in, but Onanen able to scoop that one up. 1-0 lead here for Sisu halfway through the first period, and totally I'm curious, if you are Nicky Dangles, knowing what you were able to do in Game 1, knowing how Game 2 went, what do you want to see from him in this Game 3, knowing what is on the line, and now already being down 1-0 early on this one?
I feel like for Nick, it's often the same solution fits all different scenarios, where he just has to get his game going, and there he is scoring a goal. Ross Colton ties it up for Nicky Dangles. And yeah, there we go, a quick counter-attack. A quick rush, he's able to find a player in the middle and shoots that short side top corner.
You could not have timed that much better, right? When you talk about Nicky just playing his game, that's kind of the solution to every problem for him. He goes on the other end in a fast-paced fashion and gets the goal to tie it. He almost got the goal to take the lead, but it just couldn't trickle in. He controls it in the offensive zone right now. As Bashar passes across to the save made. Still in control of it. As will land the skull, and he circles it around opposite end of the point. To McKinnon. Shot on, gloved by Onanen. And Sisu going to hold on for the whistle. We are looking at the perspective of Nicky Dangles wearing those classic Reebok Colorado jerseys, while Sisu in the Quebec Nordiques throwback uniforms. So, well for these two, using the Colorado Avalanche, but that's how you can decipher which one is which. Nicky Dangles going up on your screen, Sisu going down. This is Nicky Dangles with possession, shot on, save made by Onanen. Here comes Sisu now countering on the other end with Landeskog. Tried to put on the move, but nothing available to him. Nicky Dangles forces the turnover and will set the breakout up. 5:20 to go here in period one. We're tied at 1 apiece. The winner moves on to play Eki in the semifinals tomorrow night. Has a shot on and he scores! Caleb McCarr puts it in for Nicky Dangles, and it's a 2-1 lead and back-to-back unanswered goals for Nicky.
Nicky was starting to heat up right there. A couple of shifts in a row where he was just able to create chance after chance, and that's exactly what he lives off of. He just wants to get that offense going. He has to have a lot of action going his way, as here he comes again. That one's somehow not gonna end up in the net, but now it does. Casey Middlestad taps it in back door.
3 unanswered for Nicky Dangles, and Sisu is seen enough. He's going to call a timeout to settle down the momentum. And, you know, you mentioned that when Nicky Dangles is feeling his game, it's a thing of beauty to watch because he just gets more confident and bolder and bolder. His level increases as he feels more confident. It's almost like a boiling pot of water on the stove. The longer it sits there, the more it boils and bubbles up and the louder it gets.
Right, exactly. That's how it works for Nicky Dangles. It seems like every time he gets his game going, he's just able to extract some sort of a boost to just get even more confidence, to make even faster plays, use more saucers, just play so fast that it's practically impossible to defend against.
So Sisu trying to find some momentum here late in the first, not able to, as now Nicky comes in on the other end. Maybe looking for a 4th unanswered shot on, blocked in front. Good defensive play there made by Sisu, as that will do it for period number 1. And boy, you saw the stats right there. 10-2 in shots in favor of Nicky Dangles.
10 shots in a period is... I don't think we've seen anyone have that many in a single period today. I could be wrong, but that is just a really high number, to be honest. It just shows you that Nicky was on his game right there in that period, especially after going down 1-0 at the start.
Yeah, and you do the quick math, and Nicky Dangles, he's on pace for 30 shots compared to Sisu being on pace for 6. So the XG, not in the favor of Sisu. He's going to have to try to find a way to create some more offense, but I think he's going to have to lock in on defense here and stop Nicky Dangles because he is feeling himself. Another shot. Another chance on, and then steps up and makes a save as Nicky Dangles parks it behind the net. Gives it up to Landeskog. Back to McKinnon behind the net. Nicky Dangles being patient here. Gives it up to Taze at the point. Now to Landeskog in the right face-off circle. Back down low to Girard. Now to McKinnon. Moving that puck around. Spreading the defense out. Here's Nicky Dangles. Back to the point to Taze. To Manson. Every player has touched the puck on this possession for Nicky Dangles. A shot gets blocked in front. And now Sisu readies to counterattack. Stops in the red line, moves past the defender, and creeps into the O-zone. Checked away, but found again by Sisu. But a better defensive play there made the second time by Nicky Dangles. Here he comes on the counter rush, but turned over. Nice job there from Sisu on the other end. But that long stretch pass, nobody home to get that. It just feels like Sisu not able to break into the offensive zone consistently. Nicky really controlling the play here. So here comes Sisu now. Breaks into that offensive zone. Gets it middle stat. Puck loose in front, but picked up by Nicky Dangles. Almost at the halfway mark of this one, Nicky Dangles leading 3-1. The winner goes against Eki tomorrow in the semifinals. Our semifinal already set, Ekin and Temppanen. As here comes Sisu. Puck loose and it goes in, but it's going to be waved off.
Now, this one may have been a kicking motion. No, I believe that may have been a goal interference as well. I'm not sure which one that one's gonna be called off for, but yeah, it could have been both even, but it's not gonna count. I thought for a second that maybe, just maybe it was a kick and they review it and could be a goal, but not this time around, and 3-1 lead stays.
It's a chance there for Nicky Dangles on the counterattack, but nothing there. Now here comes Sisu on the other end until he turns it over in the neutral zone. Nicky Dangles now in the offensive zone once again. Manson at the point. Shot blocked in front by his own man. Puck battle for, found by Nicky Dangles, moves his way towards the middle. Trying to find a shot, gives it up to Taze instead. Now to O'Connor, now to Manson. Puck loose now at the corner and behind the net to Sisu, who moves this up. Sisu finds Cogliano. Turn, shot on, saved by Ontonen. Nicky Dangles takes control of possession, a little bit over 8 minutes to play. Over halfway through this one. Sisu started out with a 1-0 lead, scored less than 2 minutes into this game. Ever since then, it's been, oh, Nicky Dangles, he had a shot on there, it went wide. Sisu plays this out. Risky play, but he ends up getting it out. It's a 3-on-2. Sisu going up the ice to Druin. Puck loose in front, found by Nicky Dangles. Great defensive play there from him. Pass with McKinnon, shot on, save made by Ontonen. Puck loose in the slot, found by Nicky Dangles. Tried to shoot it with Landeskog. Found by Ontonen, and Sisu once again playing that out. He wants to keep the play going, it feels like, as he's played it out whenever he's had the chance to with that goaltender. Puck now found by Nicky Dangles in his own end. 4 minutes left here in period 2. Nicky Dangles controlling it with Cale Makar. Pass across, shot on from Antonin, goes wide. Found by Sisu. Breaks it into Manson at the neutral zone. Now to Chuskin. Sisu moving it up steadily. Looking for a shot or a pass. Nothing there so far. Tried to shoot it, but poke checked away by Nicky Dangles. The defense for Nicky Dangles has been superb so far since taking this lead. You heard him talk about in the interview. He felt like that was going to be the biggest factor if he wanted to win this series, was locking in on defense. Called Sisu one of the best offensive players in the game. He's shown that in this series, but Nicky Dangles putting the clamps on right now so far, up by 2, and Sisu, not a lot of time or space or really even shots on net. As you see the stats right there, 8.5 minutes of time on attack for Nicky Dangles, just a little bit over 3 for Sisu. Face-off won by Sisu. Moves in the offensive zone, and again, Nicky Dangles locking things down defensively, and so it feels like Nicky Dangles, everyone always talks about the offense with him, but the defensive play is such an underappreciated part of his game. He's showing it out right now in the biggest game so far in the tournament for him.
Yeah, the defensive side of things is, that makes a huge difference, especially at the top level, when all of these guys we've seen today are super talented offensively, so you just have to be able to counter that, and at the moment Nick is doing a great job at countering the offensive of Sisu.
Holds a 2-goal lead as the third period is now underway. The final period of regulation of our broadcast today. Remember to come back and join us tomorrow as we will have coverage of the semifinals and finals of our ECL 1v1 Grand Finals. Each series a best of 3. As here comes Sisu on the other end, trying to punch his ticket into tomorrow. He's going to have to make a comeback to have that happen. He was down by 4 earlier and came back to tie things up in game 1, so 2 goals, nothing to him. Nicky Dangles came in on the other end, got a good chance. Sisu going to hold on to this one, and an offensive zone face-off coming up for Nicky. I'm sure Eki more than likely watching this one closely, knowing his opponent awaits the winner of this one. Sisu trying to move it past the blue line, lost it for a second, and it ends up finding its way to Nicky Dangles after a battle. Nicky Dangles in the O-zone now. Pass across in front, puck loose, a sliding on it in there for Sisu. Nicky Dangles still working it around. Nice defense there from Sisu. As he gets it out of his own zone, that could potentially lead to an icing. It will not. So Nicky Dangles going to have to break this one in. Stretch pass to Colton up the right side, tried to go opposite end, and he does. Picked up for a second by O'Connor, but lost, and Sisu collects the turnover. I feel like Sisu going to have to find that next goal here soon. Just 13.5 minutes to play, down by 2. He's in the offensive zone after a turnover from Nicky Dangles. Shot on, save made by Ontonen. Pass across in front, couldn't get the shot off, but it goes to the point. Nice shot there from the point, but it's blocked. Nicky Dangles on a breakaway. One-on-one shot on, saved by Ontonen. The goaltending keeping hope alive for Sisu, but he's going to have to stand tall again as Nicky Dangles still pressuring. In the offensive zone, the Taze. Now to Lehkonen. The Taze again at the right point. Skates in. Nicky Dangles goes across. Shot on, saved by Ontonen again. As Sisu finally gets it off of the stick of Nicky Dangles and gets it into the offensive end. Matthew Wood holds it. Turns. Up at the high slot. Sisu waiting for his guys to get out of that line. He shot a score! A far shot beats Onanen. And just like that, the lead is cut in half with halfway to go here in this third period.
And even though Nico was looking like he's controlling this game all the way, all of a sudden, it's a one-goal game once again, and Sisu has a chance to repeat a comeback, just like he did in game 1 of the series. That one was a crazy 4-goal comeback. This time, only 2 goals, but he's gonna have to hurry up as there's only 8 minutes remaining in this game.
Only 8 minutes remaining, but now with that lead cut to 1, it's a lot more time than what you think, especially with that full-time fast minute to end things off. Nicky Dangles controls it in the offensive zone right now. Tried to go down low to the right corner, but it's picked off. Here comes Sisu now, 2-on-2. Holds it with Frantino. Tries to pass across, but a better poke check made by Nicky Dangles. To Manson up the left boards. Stops, gives it to Pikkarii. He holds it, goes down low behind the net to Middlestad. The right corner goes back down low to Pikkarii. Nicky Dangles looking for an option. 5 minutes to go here in the third. He leads by 1 and has possession. Has tried to hold on. 4.5 minutes until he can clinch a spot in the semis. Can he seal the deal here? Turned over, however, behind his own net. And here comes Sisu up the other end. Turned over in the neutral zone, however. 3.5 to play. 1-goal game. Can Sisu pull off another comeback, or will Nicky Dangles close things out here? Shot! He scores! Nicky Dangles up by 2, less than 3 minutes to play. Exactly what the doctor ordered. And now Sisu with a steep hill to climb if he wants to make the comeback happen.
Yeah, huge goal for Nick. 3 minutes remaining and he's able to extend the lead back to 2, and now he's just gonna try to defend the rest of this game.
As Nicky Dangles not done, 2-on-1. Over to Walker from Gerard, but he couldn't get the shot off. Shot on this time from Landeskog. Save made. Up to 20 shots now is Nicky Dangles. Had 10 in the first period alone. Still some amazing offensive output that we've seen from him in this game 3. Here comes Sisu after the turnover, but a better defensive play made by Nicky Dangles, bumping him off of that puck. 50 seconds remaining. Nicky Dangles up by 2. Pass to Landeskog. Backhand shot and he scores! That should very well be the dagger. Nicky Dangles puts it in the back of the net, and he's up 5-2 now.
And Nick, with this score, would be the only one to break into the top 4 of this tournament that did not qualify from the winter season, as Sisu is gonna be the only one knocked out of that group.
And you hate it for Sisu. He played such a good series. Obviously, a former ECL 1v1 champion, second youngest player in this tournament. He's done so much in so little time. You know he's going to be back here in this ECL 1v1 tournament in the future, but today just not his day, and you see he's just going to go ahead and kill the rest of this clock. He knows this one is over. Good sportsmanship there between Sisu and Nicky Dangles. Has just 4 seconds left, and that will do it. Nicky Dangles moves on to the semifinals. It took 3 games, but he shows up at the biggest moments. He does it so often. He does it again here today. A 5-2 victory in game number 3, and Nicky Dangles in what will be must-see television now going to get set for a matchup against Eki.
Right, and Nicky Dangles against Eki, that's gonna be a fun matchup for sure. I feel like that's one of those matchups that we just see over and over again in tournaments, and it's always one to look out for. And well, we're gonna get that tomorrow. I can't wait for that one.
I can't wait for it either, my friend. You will be back in the booth with me right here tomorrow. We will have the semifinals and finals coverage right here at twitch.tv/SportsGamerGG. Broadcast start time will be at 19 CEST as our 4 semifinalists are set. We'll go back and just kind of recap everything for you in case you joined us late. We started out with Eki versus Easy Cha Sniper. Easy Cha Sniper, the young 16-year-old, has really made a name for himself at this top level at such an early stage in his career. matching up against a former world champion, a 6-time EU champion, a 3-time IIHF world champion in Eki. Eki, it was tight. 2 close games, was able to get the job done in a sweep. And then we saw Eken versus the spring season champion in Pikkarii. Obviously a matchup that was so tight, was hard to really pick a winner out. I think most people thought that was definitely going to be a series that went to 3, but Eken able to knock off the spring champion in Pikkarii in 2 games. He punches his ticket to the semifinals in our last 2 series, each going to 3 games. Temppanen against Artuzio, Temppanen winning game 1, Artuzio in a comeback effort winning game 2, and then Temppanen closing things out in game number 3. And then we saw just now Sisu versus Nicky Dangles, a thrilling game 1. Nicky Dangles up by 4, Sisu came back to tie it, Nicky Dangles closed things out. And then game number 2, really the only blowout that we saw, Sisu controlling that game from start to finish, a 7-4 victory there in that second game, and then Nicky Dangles winning that game number 3 to close things out. As that is what we had here today on the broadcast, your 4 semifinalists ready to go. Eken versus Temppanen, Eki versus Nicky Dangles. Promises to be 2 fun series, and we'll also have the finals tomorrow. So really, we're going to have 3 high-octane, high-action series no matter what they end up being. So please, before we do wrap things up here, any final thoughts that you have here from today that people should maybe keep in mind as they look forward to tomorrow?
Well, I feel like personally I need to recharge to have the energy to do this again tomorrow. As I mean, we already saw some very high, like just back and forth series today. I feel like every single series was close. So I mean, you just gotta expect every single series tomorrow to be close as well, because just the margins between these guys are not that huge. So I mean, gonna be interesting to see who is able to come out as the winner tomorrow.
It will be interesting. We know it will be one of Eken, Temppanen, or Nicky Dangles that take home that 700 euro prize pool. And remember, each of these guys were able to secure an extra 150 euros with their wins here today. So a little bit richer than they started out tonight. But for now, we'll all take a quick break and take a rest getting ready here for tomorrow. Thank you all for joining in. A big congratulations to our 4 semifinalists that will be in action tomorrow. Remember, be right back here at 19 CEST for our semifinals and finals coverage. Sopley, amazing job as always, my friend. I'm also going to recharge because we saw so much today, but I can't wait to get back in the booth for you tomorrow, man. It should be some fun games.
Yeah, same words to you, my man. Great job with the play-by-plays, as always, Brendan. You're doing such a great job with that, and also huge shout out to all the guys behind the scenes. Good stuff today as well.
Yeah, big thank you to Chris Ryan, who does an amazing job on the production behind the scenes. If you want to find Sopley, you can follow him on X at Sopley04. You can also find his YouTube content over there as well. Does some really great stuff on the 1v1 HUD side, so make sure you go show him some love. A big thank you to our sponsor in COVID on Locracy for their support of everything that we do here in the ECL. And obviously, a big thank you and a shout out to Ken and the SportsGamer GG staff. Everything that they do to put these tournaments together and to support everything that we do here on the broadcast. That will do it for our coverage here today. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow at 19 CEST for our semifinals and finals coverage. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night, everyone.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.